It's not my family in your head, in your head. They are fighting with their snakes and their bombs and their masks and their bats in your head, in your head. Those potato chips in your grocery, in your grocery. Glyphosate, GMO, sugar, you ain't protecting grandma. Protect grandma. Because your organic diet protects me, and my organic diet protects you, you. Oh, I'm focused, baby. Good morning. Do you want to like get anybody like clueless when you go in the grocery store you forget to put your mask up? So you gotta put your mask up. My man protect you, your man protect me. I said, no, they don't. I said, my organic diet protects you. Let me see what's in that cart. What you got in there? GMO glyphosate. Good morning, everybody. You're not saving grandmama with your junk food. We're surrounded by zombies. I'm gonna talk about the third eye today, though. We are something about mistaken. Cause it's consumerism and 1% and ignorant people, and they say dumb stuff. Eat your food, eat what grandma taught you to eat. Get that kale and some lettuce and some cabbage and some stuff that grows out the ground. Not the 1%. Oh, they just want you to wear masks and drug you. There's no organic vaccines. If you eat organic, you don't have to worry about taking no damn vaccine, y'all. They don't work, cause it's not organic, gluten-free, cane-free, or injected in your veins without animal tissue and viruses and infant tissue. Anyway, good morning, everybody. I'm done. Oh, I haven't heard this song in a while. I love this. Zombies, Bradbury. Don't be a zombie. Good morning, everybody. Do not be a zombie for the 0.01%. And I think that means we got to meditate and tap into that third eye. Dude, I gotta get one little heart on that. Y'all see that? Y'all see how they treat me? There's probably a group that got together. They don't ever send him a like or heart when he's singing in the morning. He needs to stop. We got to get serious. Christine says, stay focused. I am focused. I'm focused on the third eye. No potato chips in space. Good morning, everybody. Oh, goodness gracious. What's going on today? Today is the 6th. Might be the end of the world. Today they're going to announce, and half the people in America are going to be upset, and the other half going to be happy. I'm going to be upset no matter what, because they're not going to announce that the president is Ulysses S. Grant. They aren't going to announce that. They aren't going to take us back to the Republic, so I really don't care what they announce. But I might need to know to run. All right, let me see. Where the hearts and likes at? Hang on. I can't start till I see that, because that's how I know when people upset. I don't even see it. What's going on here? What kind of fake news is this? Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? How your mama doing? Y'all saving grandma? Y'all saving grandma? Listen to grandma. You still listen to the 0.01% how to save you. All right, let me click this. There you go. There you go. We're live. We're live. There we go. In your head. See, I'm singing now. Y'all doing it. In your head. You zombie. You got a third eye. You got a pineal gland. It's in your head. You got to see with that joker. Not these lie to you. These lie, they gonna get you sick and get you the cuckoo. Oh. Somebody is pissed off, like, stop hitting that button. Tell them to shut up. I'm sorry, I'm having a good day. We might die today, y'all. You gotta have some fun. This is the last day. I told you, last day. Last day the apocalypse start. I told you I'm having some fun. No, I'm not gonna sit here and cry and hide in the house. They're getting upset. The Trump people and the Biden people are rioting. Oh my God! Like, no, not me. I'm in my third eye, baby. I'm not gonna let my eyes see that. I see with my third eye. I know what's going on. This is an awakening, people. Yeah, bad things gonna happen. Don't go out in that street. If you're in DC, you might want to move. I'm just saying. It's in your head, zombie. It's in your head. You gotta think. So I was, oh man, I want to do third eye today. I really do. How do you know if your third eye is open? Y'all, my spiritual people here. How do you know? Because hang on. Oh, look at the. Oh man, see, this is what a friend does. You know what? You know what friends really are. Look, this is what friends do. Look at that. Friends don't let friends put Gerard's face on their profile picture and some crazy man in India dancing, shaking his dangling. Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate that. I'm feeling that. It's solid right there. And get Coco there. Thank you. Yeah, going along. See, don't be a zombie, y'all. Don't go along with harsh. No, that time he's harsh. The man is harsh. Anyway, good morning. Good morning. Let me get my comments up over here and see. I really want to do the third eye today. I really want to do the Pineal, but like I said, I'm trying to let y'all dry the discussion. Yes, that's a potato chip behind me. There's no potato chips in space or science. There's no potato chips in science. Trust the science. Nope, trust nature. If you don't eat organic food, you're gonna die. Your organic food protects you. My organic food protects me. And that's a lie too, but I just use that as a means to get people upset with me in the grocery store. You know, they say, you gotta put your mask on. It's gotta be over your nose. No. You got the whole thing. I'm like in the car. Is there potato chips in your body? Is that soda? Is it glyphosate has inflammatory things that align with the cuckoo. And if you get the cuckoo and you got inflammation and clotting in your body, you know you're going to die before you die. You're going to get everybody else sick, letting all them exosomes and extracellular vesicles out your skin, everybody else falling everybody else's eyes. Good morning, everybody. Open that third eye. Stop using your two eyes because the 0.01% don't do nothing but lie to you. They make you stupid and they're going to get you killed, me too, and everybody else. Good morning, everybody. Anyone think we're going to be in a revolution today? Anybody fighting in the revolution? Anybody ready? Boy, I tell you what, we in danger, y'all. We in danger. I don't know. Half of them, they think they won. Both of them. Yeah, my master won. No, your master won. My master won. Like they're gonna end the world over Jiving Bowden and Donald Trump. It's fitting. It's fitting. You can't make that up. It's fitting. Damn it. He was in the Ghostbusters video. Jiving Bowden wrote the crime bill, killed all the brown people with that crime bill. And this dude was in the brown people video dancing, Ghostbusters in front of Trump Tower. Y'all remember that in the 80s? All right. Let's get serious. Now, I do want to do third eye. But we have to start with a guru speaking about the third eye. Open it up. What is it? How do you know if it's open? How do you know if it's closed? And should you turn the television off if it's open while it's open? If the 1% is talking and one of the zombies is spewing something in your eyes, should you close the third eye? I don't know. These are all good questions. I don't know anything about it. Well, I know a little bit about it, but I was listening to a guru talk about the third eye this morning. So I want to have a third eye. Who is this? Raja. Let Roger talk for a second. Hold on. Who is this? I don't know who that is. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Got your third eyes open? Did you bring your third eye? Bring your third eye. You got to see with your third eye. See with your third eye. I don't know what that really means, but don't see with the two eye. Do not see through that television. I can tell you that. That might be that's the negative third eye. Don't see through that. If you get your facts and reality from that thing, you can get a whole bunch of people killed. Live frequencies out there, and that television is one of the ones that you do not need to focus on. All right, let me get over here. Raja Chandri. I don't know him. Ain't nothing about him. But he's going to say something deep for a second. Hopefully this starts a conversation.
In ancient Egypt. And in India particularly, we always knew that the body contained remarkable powers and remarkable features. On an earlier talk, Raja talked about the Kundalini. You know about the Kundalini? It is said that it is a force coiled 3.5 times around the base of the spine. And under certain circumstances, it can be aroused. And once aroused, it travels up the spine, thereby illuminating a series of chakras from the base of the spine all the way up to the Sahasradhara, the final chakra in the brain. And as it goes up, as one of these chakras gets empowered, gets illuminated, our consciousness changes. Now, among these chakras, one of the most interesting is the 6th chakra, the Agya chakra, which is in the middle of the skull. The third eye, you've heard of the third eye. For example, the tilak that we all wear. that is in a way a symbol of the inner eye. And you all know about Lord Shiva and his third eye. Of course, that is only used in exceptional circumstances. But in the Bible also it says, the light of the body is in the eye. And if thine eye be single, then thy body shall be full of light. I think that's the clearest statement one can have with regard to the extraordinary possibilities of the inner eye. Now, there it seems that scientific explorations are now proving the critical importance of what is known as the pineal gland, a small gland, but which apparently plays a critical role in our consciousness. And it is clear that the third eye is, in fact, the pineal gland. And what Raja is going to do today in his inimitable way, he's a very good speaker and he illuminates it with a lot of interesting slides, and also he presents it in a very interesting manner. He's going to present this whole concept of the third eye, how it cuts across the civilizations, how it is beginning now to be recognized as a major possibility, because everybody wants to move towards illumination, towards wisdom. How do we get that third eye? It's not only a metaphor. Some people think it's only a form of speech. Third eye is the eye of wisdom. It's perhaps more than that. Perhaps there is a third eye. And perhaps the pineal gland itself is the third eye. So that's what Raja is going to tell of all of us today. I have nothing very much to add to what you know already about this, except to say that the borderline between consciousness and matter is gradually disappearing. There used to be a dichotomy between the Cartesian dichotomy between matter and spirit, matter and consciousness, as if they were two implacably different elements. But now, as science is developing, the new science, the quantum mechanics, the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, the whole way that science is developing, you find now that when you go into matter, ultimately, when you go deep into it, it disappears into energy. So, in a way, they are transferable. In a way, you can say that matter is energy consolidated, and energy is matter that has been liberated. So the convergence between science and spirituality. I'm not using the word religion because religion means a lot of other things, theology and so on. But if you go to spirituality, and the crux of spirituality is to be able to see the reality, as the Upanishad says, Vedaham etam purusham mahantam aditya varanam tamasa parastat. I have seen that great being shining like 1,000 suns beyond the darkness. I've seen it.
That's where the religious monkeys fly in.
I know it's true, damn it. My mom and daddy told me what was true and they handed it down to me.
And that's okay. We love you because I was one of those people. Being able to see, right? And the science of being able to see is a lot more always going on than what you know. We got to deal with the Nazis. That's why I was singing Zombie this morning, right? So we're getting down into science, right? But this is unpopular science. This is like people explaining to you about the cuckoo virus. And it's an illness of diet. It's not an illness of that should cause riots. It's an illness of diet, malnutrition. But then again, all these diseases are. This is an unpopular science. These are the sciences you want to focus on, not the 1% science, not the billionaire science, not the consumerism science to get you to buy things. But you got to be able to see. So I'm curious as to what y'all think about the third eye and the pineal gland. I spend my time doing my meditation. I'm not going to convince you that I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about for me. I have no idea what it means for you. You know, and this is where people.
Oh, you get the guru and the guru.
Guru is not a minister. Guru is a teacher. They teach you to be a better you. They don't want to drive you. They don't want your tithes and offerings. Not that that's a bad thing. I think that religion, for me anyway, it was a path to spirituality. It was, like I've said a million times before, I was raised in the church. I was given the belief system that there's more out there. And then I realized that nobody in that damn church knew what was out there. I know you get upset, but you know, that's all right. It's okay. I had to get upset too the first few times I heard that before I started to tap into the reality that there's a lot more going on that we can't see. You know, and I end up in this space of trying to understand, you know, quantum physics and what's out there. And I'm not trying to understand, to be honest with you. I take that back. I just know there's more out there that I can't see. And so I'm not going to march with the Nazis because there's more to it. There's more to this world, you know, from a frequency perspective. Like I said, I was meditating the other day. My God. And what do you'll hear him at the end. He'll explain to you what he saw. I can tell you what I saw. And I can tell you there's a lot more than this universe than the 0.01% consumerism, Amazon, and always doing what the people want you to do who are selling you products on television. Anyway, good morning. Good morning, Melanie. And Cosby, no relation. Let me get down to good morning, Gina. Good morning. I'm going to get down to some pineal talk, third eye, then we'll do some more. Oh, gee, your voice, my gosh. That's for free singing classes for your birthday. No, I'm not, Christine. No, I'm a spiritual wave creature, anything having a human experience. And to me, to you, it kind of sounds like a bird cackling or something when I sing. To me, it sounds heavenly. It's just like, ah. So, but this is what I'm talking about, right? So the same thing, guys. And she's joking, but you got to love you, people. You got to love you. And this is such right on topic. You got to love you. You have to love you. And you got to get in tune with your own inner voice. You got to get in tune with your own inner light. They say the pineal gland is the inner light. What's the title of this video? Pineal or pineal? Pies and meal. Pies. P-I-E-S. Making some stuff up, but got lots of sugar in it because the farmers have no damn idea when to pick the apples anymore. So they got to pick them at the wrong time and put a whole bunch of sugar in the pie. It ends up giving you clotting that you're going to die from the cuckoo when that comes around. Cuckoo virus. Y'all know what that is. Pine and kneel. You're always having to kneel.
Those are distance. You only have 10 people at your house this Christmas.
You know, kneeling before the altar of the 1% because they need you to buy something, consumerism, versus the pineal. Realizing that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Neither do you. Neither do I. But we do know when we follow natural processes, great things happen. But right on topic, right? You know, whatever you are, you know, and I got little chubs around the spare donuts. So that's okay. Everybody got a little donut when they sit down. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's your body. Love yourself. Gotta love yourself. Because nobody else will. I don't think anybody else can. You know, this is your vehicle. This ain't really even your self anyway. There's a root self that I don't think anybody can see, right? Because we know that we're this spiritual creature having a human experience. And everyone, you know, folks try to figure out, well, what is the root self? You'll never figure it out. I heard it explained earlier this morning, talking about how it's like trying to define what teeth are. Wait a minute, let me say it the right way. It's like teeth trying to figure out what teeth are. Teeth will never figure out what teeth are. They're within themselves, right? We are within this world, and it's on one frequency. And being able to see outside the one frequency that we're on is impossible with these eyes. Be possible with another sensing eye. And that's where religion opened the door for me to spirituality. And that's kind of where I reside right now. You know, I don't do any of the dogmas. I don't do any of the things that the kings translated, handed down. I spend more time inside myself. God is inside of everything. But you have to be able to probably turn that signal on a little bit and see and adapt to the frequencies of this one frequency thing is. I think God might actually be a frequency. I don't know. We are only as good as the fuel we feed our motor. Exactly, Terry Cook. And if we're feeding trash to your car or trash to your body, it's not going to go very far. And people don't seem to understand that because your car breaks down on the side of the road doesn't mean it got a disease. It might mean you put diesel in a gasoline powered car. It might mean that you didn't change the oil. Oh. Might mean you didn't get a maintenance checkup. Oh, you don't have an herbalist. You don't have a naturopathic doctor. You've been dealing with these synthetic people going the path of the synthetics. You know. Anyway, what kind of sweetener do you use in your coffee, Jackie? I've already said that before. It's not Save Grandmama sweetener. It's sweetener nobody, I'm gonna say it in my way. It's sweetener that nobody in a right mind would use, who gets flus, colds, viruses, tickles in their tummy, scratches in the throats, and headaches. I don't get any of that. So I drink very bad creamer in my coffee, just you being smart. Oh, it's got cow blood in it, cow pus, probably got all kind of nasty stuff in there. I'm sure it's glyphosate and everything else. But the good thing about my car, it's like gas, like what Terry just said. You go to the if you go to the gasoline store, the damn gas, what's it called, gas station, you know it's water in all the gas. I remember that back in the 80s. Well, it was in the 80s for me. You go to the gas station after the rain, and if any of them had the leaky tanks, I had a Volkswagen Bug, and the Bug did not like no damn gas, water in the gas, right? And you get in the car, you start the car up after you gas it, like, you start shaking and stuff. Try to put some statin drugs in it to keep it going. That didn't work. If your engine is attuned, you don't have problems. You don't have any problems. My buddy had a what do you have, a Supra? And he put the same gas in his car, and he didn't have any problems. He just turned, you know. Well, the engine's a little more attuned. The engine could withstand abuse. Those are potato chips. If you are sickly, have any problems, on any medications, you shouldn't be eating that damn thing. But yeah, I put things in my body because the body can tolerate abuse. But first, you got to get it to a point where you're not getting anybody sick. You understand what I'm saying? It's all levels of consciousness. I think it is, Lynn. I think it is. Well, so there's the physical side of it. Like we're talking about matter right now. But then there is the other side of it, right? Mind over matter. Right? Can you improve your health by thought? I think so. I think so. Lynn, I'm the healthiest I've ever been in life, and I don't know how I did it. So I'm trying to convince anybody be a vegetarian or be vegan, eat raw, anything like that's a step. These are important things, but there's a belief system that comes along with it. Like I'll send people Dr. Greger and watch his videos, and Dr. Oz, and there's a level of belief that manifests health along with eating healthy things. I kind of think, Lynn, if you ate a bunch of healthy stuff, ate organic, saved grandmama food, non-processed, grew your own, ate raw, but you didn't believe that would heal your body, it would make you strong, I don't think you'd be healthy. I think you might die. I think you still might stay as sick as you are. There's a level of belief in consciousness that mind over matter, right? Placebo, nocebo. If those things are real, then obviously they're a part of that conversation. All right. Don't worry about the vax. You don't have a choice. It's mandatory. Slaves don't need, do not have freedom of choice. You know your place. So I don't know, John, if you're talking to somebody else, I'm not worried about the vax. I really don't care I don't even watch the news. No, they're going to make it mandatory. But it ain't got nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me. You know, who was that brother I was watching yesterday, John? I was watching a good brother yesterday. I haven't watched the video in a long time. What is his name? He's in a rock. He's a dark-skinned brother in some band. I forgot his name. Hold on. Did I shared his video? Hold on. Whoa. And he said what I said, which makes me think I'm in the right path of it. Right? Worry is an interesting thing. You know, those who cling to life will lose their life. Those who don't worried about what the 1% want to do will live free and live their life. Eric something. Eric, here we go. Eric July. I watched the Eric July video yesterday. You know what he made me feel good in watching his video. I'll post a link. Hold on. He made me feel good because he said what I said. John, hold on. Pause. It's a 9-minute video. I'm not gonna play it, but I'll post the link. I think it was his last one. I haven't watched one of his videos in a long time. He was just basically saying, hey, listen, you know what? They come around when they're ready to do it. Take me to jail. I'm good to go. Putting an inorganic thing inside of me is never going to happen. You know, he said, take me to jail. He's fine with that. I said, take me to the FEMA camp. I'm fine too. Just let me get my Betamax tapes. And if not, we're fine. You ain't got no Betamax. I do, because all this stuff is old and outdated. The FEMA is for citizen continuity, not for government continuity. They probably got the latest stuff. Down there, they got Betamax. I'm not worried about it, John. Don't be worried about it. Don't, you know what? there is a scripture, John, that says, render unto Caesar what is unto Caesar, and render unto John and gods and goddesses what is unto gods and goddesses. And what Caesar's up to, I guess, got nothing to do with me, John. They can do anything they want to do. Yeah. So wherever I am, if I'm here, if I'm in an off-grid community, if I'm in another country, it doesn't matter. They can make any decision they like. It's got nothing to do with me. You know, oh, but they're gonna get you. They're gonna put you in chains. They're gonna kill you. Okay. That's your choice. You can do anything you want to do. But I'm gonna live as long as I live on this planet. I'm gonna agree with science. I'm gonna be an organic, natural human. I'm gonna eat organic much as I can, and I'm only gonna put organic things in my body and in an organic way. Anyone else who wants to go off in that experiment, they can. Are you worried about the plague? No, actually, I'm not. If there is a plague out here that can take out an organic human being manifesting with the third eye open, living spiritually how they should, then I'm supposed to go. See, I'm with nature, John. I'm with nature. I'm not with the monkeys. If something needs to take me, I go on and take me. I'm good to go. I'm not clinging to this life. I know I'll be back. I'll be back as a dragonfly, John. I'm gonna fly down one of them Rockefeller throats. Like, ah! All right, my third eye has been open since I was 3 years old. Here we go. How do you know, Jackie? How does anybody know if your third eye is open? That's not our family. What's in your head? Yes, what's in your head? Well, they got the pineal glands in there, a lot of lies from television, 0.01% consumerism, trying to get them, trying to convince them that consumerism can protect them from a flu, which is very interesting. Hey, good morning, Rebecca. Just trying to get them to buy stuff. That's what I'm talking about. How do you know your third eye is open? Let me see. I'm still trying to classify my third eye. So am I, Heather. I don't really know that I know that I know. That's why I'm not teaching. This is a discussion for me. Seems to quit in DC. Oh, did they quit in DC? I thought they did stuff in DC like they shut down. Didn't they shut down the restaurants or something, try to keep people out of DC or something? I don't know. This is the United States Incorporated. That's another thing, Christine. I don't worry about things that don't concern me. No, but the United States Incorporated, that's your government. No, that's your government. It's not my government. You know, y'all started that not your president stuff with Donald Trump. I've been saying that for a minute. No, Ulysses S. Grant. I swore an oath to the republic. I did not swear an oath to a corporation. To me, it boggles my mind that anybody's really worried about that. They're still going to do the same thing. They're required to do profit. Whatever makes profit, they're going to do. So I don't concern myself with stuff that doesn't concern me. All right, how many people let them stick something in their nose? I mean, what is your frame of mind to allow someone to stick something in your nose so far that it reaches your brain? John, you don't even have to go that far, brother. I'm not gonna let nobody pick my nose. That's the most disgusting thing. No, you're not even gonna touch my nose. You're not gonna touch me. No, they let it alone. Oh, we're gonna test you for something. You're not gonna test me. You better test yourself. Because if you test me, I'm gonna test you, and you're not gonna like my test. Anyway, good morning. Good morning, Pat Hauser's in the house. Pat, is your third eye on? Good rising, Larkin. Hey, is your third eye on? How do you know? We rise, so we fall. The higher we rise, the heart of the fall. Oh, you mean the harder we fall? Yeah. John, you don't fall, brother. You don't fall. Oh, you're on this frequency, and then you're not on this frequency. And then you probably come back to this frequency, if you understand what I'm saying. So there's no falling. There's just you living out your experience. Like I told my brother that the other day. It's like, look, man, you want to live out a black experience? Go and do that. Do that. Do you? Love you. Anyway, do it. You want to live out a woman experience? Go and live that. You want to live out a white experience? Go do that. You want to live out the American? Oh, God, it's like yesterday. Augmented realities. People have whatever reality they want. I'm not living any of those realities, right? I'm not living the reality as a man. Men suck. You haven't met a man? I'm not living out the reality as a black person. They suck too. No, I'm not interested in any subhuman groups. I'm not living out as an American either. You know, this whole republic thing is just to push things back to a point of human sovereignty. I don't even want to live that out. I just know that that's a path in the right direction. Being owned by a corporation back to being ruled by a republic government is the next step to getting rid of them and being states, and get rid of them, becoming local, and then getting rid of them, and then push everything back to just not we the people, but we the consciousness. And that's the world I'm gonna live in. That's what I'm concerned with. I'm not concerned with the rest of that other stuff. Good morning, everybody. Is that bonkers? What you got? We're given talents, and if we risk it, will be multiplied. If you do not risk it, will be taken away. I think so, bonkers. I think so. And there's something that there's a scripture you reminded me of. I like scripture. Listen, I don't have an interest in scriptures used to abuse and to force people to do things for kings and ministers and pastors, whatever else. But I'm highly interested in the ancient scriptures that they've copied and plagiarized over and over that have nothing to do with abusing other people. And so when you said that, it makes me think of spiritual gifts, right? Everybody comes here with a gift. Everybody has something. Everybody, I think, is sent here for a reason, or everybody can sense to come here for a reason. Like Nikola Tesla brought free energy, and 1% tried to stop him. Einstein tried to bring him on, they didn't try to stop him, and you're here for something. So I think it's a game. Who's that, bonkers? I think it's a game. I think, we're born here. I think kids are perfect. I think kids come here unaltered, uncorrupted. And the game is if the 0.01% can corrupt them and basically make them waste their life doing stupid stuff like collecting trash they can't do anything with, like trash like yachts, trash like BMWs, trash like watches, gold chains, and all these things they can brag to other people how great they are as a monkey with shiny things, as opposed to focusing on why they're here, why the collective, they're here with the collective, why the collective sent them here. I think everybody came with a gift, and if we get out of people's way, they can provide their gift to beautify this place that we're at, that this rock that we're enslaved to. So I think there's a lot of truth in scripture. You have to concentrate on your seventh chakra. Your sixth chakra is the third eye, the agna, the third eye. You have to go beyond. That eye needs to be protected, not open. Ooh, so it's not an opening, huh? It's a protection. I mean, and I know it doesn't open. Like, I know it's not, but protected. How do you protect it? Does that mean that you don't watch CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, BBC, or stick around anybody who believes that reality too much? Are you talking about 3G, 4G, 5G wave protection? Oh, Christine, I downloaded the Schumann Resonance app. I meditated that this morning. I don't really have anything to say just yet. I'm still processing which one I want to use. I will say it was interesting. There was something different. I'm not ready to say anything on it because I'm not processing anything analytical just yet. LMA, laughing my butt off. You talking about eyes, and I'm on my way to the eye appointment. Time for new content. Ooh, Larkin, see, now that's right on message though. That's right on message. We all need to go to the eye doctor. I got a whole family. I need to send them all to the third eye doctor. Yes, that's right on message. We have a whole planet of people that can't seem to see anything that the 1% don't want them to see. All right, we're gonna get to the next section of this. Let me see. Did I get everything third eye? Let me move down to the bottom. All right, so happy. It's an eye topic day. Yes, third eye topic today. We're about to get back into it. I just want to hit a few comments and we'll go back in. What is depression philosophy? Because you always got a challenge for me, brother. You ain't never playing with me, are you? What is depression? Being a spiritual creature trapped in a human experience where you're not allowed to spirit. I don't know. Being a child born that loves to paint, you're not allowed to color because you got to go to work. Being a spiritual being sent here to create beautiful music, but you got to go work as an accountant to feed your family. I think depression is taking a free, sovereign spirit frequency creature thing and putting it in an environment that's unnatural, and it'll make you sad. Because to me, I guess depression is the furthest extent of a spectrum of sadness. Not owning land, you like fresh food, you want to eat fresh food, you're eating grocery store food. So I think depression, not that I know what it is, but from a philosophical standpoint, I would say it is you being enslaved to something that doesn't resonate with you. And that's what this world really is about. And that's why I think it's a game, because they put you in conditions to get you to resonate in ways that you shouldn't. And depression is one of them. All right. It has to be unblocked, not protected. Okay, unblocked. And this gets into calcification, Christine. I know we looked at calcification science a while ago. They say certain things calcify your pineal gland, which I know that there is some science to that. I forgot how much in the details. But so if they're getting you to eat things that block your pineal. People talk about glyphosate, they talk about chlorine in the water, they talk about a bunch of different things that could block it, and other things help unblock it. All the things that block it are synthetic. All the things that unblock it are supposedly natural. Then that means that we probably need to get back on track with eating natural things and not worry so much about what blocks, but don't take it. If it's unnatural, don't take it. If it's synthetic, don't put it in your body. I think that probably is a first step from a principle perspective, because I think it's spiritual, Christine. It bothers me that we are using things in very prolific ways that now they're saying block the pineal. And I think somebody knew something a long time ago that maybe they weren't saying. More comment when they will play the record. A little more. Follow your heart. Do not love and have a passion for the money will come. Trust the universe. Yeah, can we change that word, money Christ? You know how I am on that word. I don't like that word. No, that word, the love of money is the root of all evil. And if you live in a society where people die if they don't have it, then everybody's going to love it, because everybody loves what it provides. I love to sit here and tell you that I don't love money, but when I examine my own heart, Christ, I love money. I love money. It's an addiction. It gets you lots of fun, interesting things on Amazon. It gets you a faster car with a nicer stereo system. As I'm evolving, as I'm meditating, as I've gotten into yoga and focusing on things in life that really have value, my kids are getting older, and you start to spend time in that space, money is losing value for me. Can we say follow your heart, do what you love, and have passion, and the energy will come? I guess to some people that's money. I get if you got young kids, we don't live in a society yet where you can't live without money. You'd be stupid just to throw it all away. We have to use what we have to build a better world and move into a place where nobody is depressed. I think depression might be a statement of how valid, how decent your society is. And we don't live in a society to do it. Depression is the default now. These lockdowns have caused major suicides. What did Bill Gates say the other day? Something stupid. There's always something stupid. There's always something synthetic. There's always something consumerism. Buy. He's a multi-billionaire. He wants to be a multi-billionaire. Said something to the effect of, someone might release a bioweapon to kill millions of people or something like that. I'm like, yeah, okay. yeah. And somebody did lockdowns that killed millions of people, and somebody poisoned people with glyphosate and sugar and GMOs, killed millions of people. So I think sometimes you slip and you say things that are true that you're trying to do. I think maybe he slipped and said something that what he's always been trying to do. He's always trying to create a problem to, what is that, problem, reaction, solution? And he said that the other day. But yeah, trust the universe. I agree with that, Christ. You got to trust the things that you cannot see. And because the things you can see usually come on that damn TV. There are multiple realities, and the 0.01% reality is the only thing that dominates that damn television. All right, let's get into it.
By which he obviously means it's not only a concept, it is something he's actually experienced.
I want to get to the right speed. Here we go.
Good evening. Here
comes an ad. I'm going to block it out.
Step one.
Oh, never mind. I'm going to let it play. MGM Sportsbook.
Your gut.
Oh, the gut. Step three.
Get it.
You know why? I see that commercial? I see that commercial every 10 seconds. You know why? One, I have black skin. The other reason why, I'm a man. So they're like, okay, well, people betting sports and all of that. I don't do none of that stuff. That's just more racism.
Okay. I want you to imagine something with me.
Here we go.
Imagine that inside your head, as Dr. Singh said, is a little pod, a little eye, a tiny little eye. Just imagine it for a second. This little eye could potentially be the source of spiritual experience, intuition, creativity, insight, and it's also potentially the source and the origins of where most religious experiences come from. So today I want to take you on a little adventure with me, and I hope you'll come along for the ride. We're going to explore this idea of the third eye. And the third eye is an amazing thing. Humankind has been obsessed with it much further into antiquity than we give it credit for. In fact, there are actually paintings in the sand and in Europe in the Stone Age of wiggly lines and shapes that look very similar to the hallucinogenic experiences of LSD and DMT takers. So they found that people were having trance type experiences of converting their inner neurology into something greater far back into antiquity. But what we find is that by the time we get to ancient Egypt and India and Sumeria, we have this amazing culture of a third eye developing. Right? Everybody knows this eye here. This is the eye of Horus, or the eye of Ra, it's called. And in fact, the first symbol of the eye of Ra is the lion staring up at the sun at about a 45-degree angle. Now that tells you a lot about where the third eye would be located. We also see that there is the third eye in the Tutankhamun and other tombs. We see the third eye in Shiva, in Lord Shiva in India. We also see that the Shiva third eye is a very strange mythology because it is all about destruction and rebirth. It is about cleansing away everything. It is about clearing the path. And then later on, we find, as you pointed out, that the dollar bill also has the third eye on the pyramid at the top of it. And I'm sure all of you have heard the conspiracy theories around the third eye and Illuminati and the Freemasons. But basically, this knowledge goes right back to about 3000 BC at least. And we see it in, if you look on the left side, this is 1000 BC in Israel, where they found pre-King Solomon's temple, the symbol of the hectogram. This is the what we call the yin and the yang, the Shiva and Shakti, the Star of David. Now look here, this is from 1100 BC on the left, and on the right is from Sri Lanka around 3 BC, which is the Agastya temple in Sri Lanka, which happens to be at the exact same longitude as Kailash Mansarovar. So you have a direct line linking Shiva's Mansarovar with a temple in Sri Lanka that has an ancient symbol like that. This symbol is going to be a major clue for us as we go forward. So stay with me. How did they describe it? They all describe the experience of the third eye. This painting is an ancient Indian painting showing what they call the view when you see the Sahasrara. When you get to the top third eye, your third eye opens and 1,000 lotuses of light come alive. It is quite something. This was the painting. And if you see in the middle, you will see 2 footprints. Now that's a very interesting metaphor used in Hinduism, that you never actually see God. All that God leaves behind is his footprints. That's all you'll see. Right? So the other thing you'll see, over and over again, you see this. This is from Egypt. This is 2000 BC. This is called the flower of life. That means that somehow geometry and sacred circles had already become known to people. And you can see the patterns called the flower of life here. We also see this is from the experience of St. Francis of Assisi, which is what they call the beatific vision. And if you look at European art, the prophets, the biblical prophets, the saints, all saw heaven as a circular light opening in front of their heads, angels flying all around, and they would be pulled towards that light. Right? So it was an amazing experience. If we look here, this is the usual picture of heaven in the Western world, is sunlit meadows and you're moving towards light. Here we see, this is an example, a picture taken by someone who had a near-death experience. When they were about to die, and they had this out-of-body experience for about 30, 40 minutes, most people returning say they saw a tunnel of light and they went towards it. They were surrounded by loved ones, by angels, and then they came back and they wished they could just keep going towards the light. So we see this again in death as well. And we see this is an explosion caught by Hubble telescope in the Sirius constellation in the heavens. And it just so happens that Sirius was the point at which the Egyptians believed their spiritual home was. So all their architecture, all their third eye pointing was towards Sirius. And throughout the galaxy, you're going to see explosions like this, but they were obsessed with Sirius. They wanted to bring Sirius into their own brains. So what?
Ooh, see, now he's getting me now. So yeah, this is probably gonna lean a little bit on the alien side because I don't really know, but I'm a guest here. I'm gonna say that. What if we are technology? What if we are spirits from Orion? Like that was the Egyptian thing. The others thought, what was the other place? The Pleiades, the Pleiadians, right? They're like, there are a bunch of different places they say that we are from. What if we're a Wi-Fi signal from these places? Not to say that that's where God is or anything, but what if we are a simulation of a simulation? What if we are being beamed in, like how Bruce Lipton talks about? All our cells are receptors, they're tuned to certain frequencies. And what if you're a frequency being beamed here? And perhaps what they see, which in the end isn't the end, you're actually going back, where the frequency is going back to where the transmitter is, and that's where you are. I mean, that is a form of colonization. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there because, once again, I don't think we'll ever know self. We could be from Sirius. That could be the simulation within the simulation, because then still God created the universe. We just happen to be there, and traveling the distance is hard to do that. So we just beam frequencies into different places and evolve the creatures on those planets. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I think it's fascinating. I don't think that we'll ever know the truth. And I see y'all going back and forth about the Trump stuff and everything. And it's just, like I said, folks, I don't resonate there. I don't have anything for nor against him, for nor against Biden. I just think there are more important things we need to be doing as a species. We need to start acting on the species or the spiritual level and less on that political, resonance area. And people can stay there. That's fine. Like I said, you people can live whatever reality out there they want. I'm in the later years of my life, I'm trying to focus on the things that really matter, and picking and choosing which master is not one of the things that matters to me. I love research. NDEs and OBEs, heaven is real. Yeah. So bonkers. Do you see the UFO yesterday? Did y'all see that? Y'all see the UFO yesterday? Where is it? What? It was in Hawaii. The UFO, the lady saw the UFO and she was out there chasing it. And then she called the police, and the police came and they saw it too. And there was another one came, and then they reported it was at a down aircraft because it went into the ocean. Did y'all see that? I'm gonna tell you this, bonkers. I actually don't think that one was a UFO, and I don't think that one was. I think it's an IFO, but I don't think it was Space Force. When I looked at that, we can look at that too. I just think that was. It looked like a balloon, to be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. Did y'all see it? I'll show you a picture of you. It looks like it was a big blue balloon shaped like something we procreate with. And it was just slowly moving, which is why she could follow it, and then got out over the water, and maybe it just popped, or maybe it was one of those like the Japanese lanterns and just went down in the water. And so now you got the FAA, they're looking for a downed aircraft. And I'm just thinking, nah, that kind of sounds like and then another one came from the same direction, but it kept going. And this one was white. I don't know. Like I said, when I look at stuff, I'm a skeptic. People who think that they're alone in the galaxy, they tend to think I'm an alien person, that I believe in aliens or something. I just believe in ecosystem. I think there's a whole lot out there. And the reason I said that, bonkers, is because, well, the majority of what we're going to see comes from us, right? That's Tesla technology. That is 100% schematic, patented, free energy type technology that they do not want to share with the people, which is part of why I'm not in that Trump-Biden conversation. All of the masters agree with the United States Incorporated that it's okay for us all to starve and die. They don't give two damns about us. They never have. So that's why I don't resonate there. But yeah, so NDEs, right? So I think we're in an ecosystem, and it's not just a biological ecosystem. I think, based in water, and I think we're in an ecosystem of frequencies. I think there are all kinds of beings out there. I think there are probably beings evolving on Venus, and beings of a different type evolving on Titan, of a certain, molecular breakdown, and beings on the sun. I think whatever God is, it loves life, and it just spreads. It creates creations that create creations that create creations that create ecosystems that create even more creations, which is why we probably could come from Orion, and we're just being beamed here. We love the affinity of making life. If we could figure out how to send, what is that? What is the theory called? Where biological life goes from seeds, from planet to planet to planet to planet, or seeds or biological things, or tardigrades, or bacteria, panspermia, right? If we had a way of finding that, getting a seed or some biology to one of those plants, we probably do it. And we would send it in a way where we could communicate with it. If we could biologically create cells that have certain receptors and certain frequencies, and we beam a signal just to monitor and watch and interact with what's on that planet, because it takes so damn long to fly there on our limited technology, assuming we know it's true. What if the species is doing that biologically? I mean, we do that with the, what is the damn probe that we sent to Mars? A Curiosity rover. We did that. We actually took a thing, panspermia, and we sent it to Mars, and we can beam a signal to control it and move it around. So I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but it's let me do comments. Let me do a few more comments for you. Wife's eye. What is a wife's eye? Will, is that when she finds you cheating or being flirting with the secretary? What is that? Yes, Sirius, Orion, Pleiades. And so the ancients, Christine, which is why we always get these great conversations. I trust the ancients over the television all day, every day, especially on the multiple continents and all the cultures that came from. They all talked about, or a lot of them talked about the pineal gland, the pine cone. I mean, even the Catholic Church has the pine cone on the end of their little sorcerer things, the little canes they want, little pimp daddy canes. They got those, and a bunch of other cultures talked about it. But then, so getting back to the planetary stuff, it's just like, maybe it's a technology that's known throughout the universe. Maybe we're being beamed here from different places and different creatures and beings, and things don't go the way they want, and their transmission gets interfered with. And so they come here like the Anunnaki and land, and they take that being and they give it their DNA so it has their receptors. I don't know. I find it fascinating that the ancients found it so fascinating and interest that they would build massive pyramids, complexes to have, the alignment that they do to focus in on those places like they wanted to go home, right? Like that's what they say with the a lot of the temples is that, and not just in Egypt, but the Mayan temples and Aztecs, right? They were aligned a certain way so that when they died, they would go out through a certain hole and end up in that galaxy where from once they felt that they came from. Almost like something told them that they came from there. I don't know. It's weird. Who knows? We are vibration and frequency at the base, beings of light. I agree, Lynn, and quantum physics agrees with you. That's the funny part, is that we're not talking, it's what we called it mythology and woo-woo and religion and spirituality, and now it's science, but people don't want, they like the potato chip science. And then social distance, wear a mask. They like potato chip science. They like the consumerism science. They don't like real science. Real science is that we don't know. And when we come to a great time of darkness, when we realize that we don't know half of what we think we know, that's a time of humility. Lynn, we might go somewhere with that. That's a time of humility. That's a time when we all need to sit down and shut the hell up. That's a time when we all need to step back and question everything. Like, wait a minute, what is real? What isn't real? What frequency are we on? Right, and stop resonating with the shiny stuff that the television and these wealthy bastards that hide everything important from us want to tell us. Like, this is the age of enlightenment we should be in. The adults around the world that have children, grandkids, nieces, and nephews should be like, hold on, whoa. You mean to tell me that we don't really even know what reality is? And so that gets back to the political thing. So, Lynn, I can't argue with somebody about, politics, and we don't even know what's real anymore. We are in this ecosystem of frequencies, and we're light beings. Light is everywhere. Frequency is everything. And there are a lot of other things out there that we don't understand. I think making decisions in the dark is stupid. Right? And this is part of why I don't vote. Same reason, you'll always go back to it, because that's the popular thing that everybody's talking about. If you're not being told the truth, why would you vote? Why would you? And it's not voting, it's anything. Like it's because it's spending your money is voting. If you're not being told the truth about glyphosate, why the hell would you buy a product with it in it? If you're not being told the truth about sugar and these companies are withholding things, why would you buy it? If you literally got a product that the corporations and the government don't believe in, they have no confidence in it, that they would set up a multi-billion-dollar fund in case you take this product and you get hurt to pay you because they know that it's not safe and effective. Why in the hell would you take it? Well, on TV, they seem pretty confident. Don't worry about what people say. Look at what they do. They created a law. There's only one product in the United States corporation of a slave plantation that you cannot sue the corporation. I'm not against these things and I'm not for these things. I'm for common sense, right? We don't know. There's too much we don't know, and there's too much that they do know. And so what are these things for? Why would you expose millions of people, billions of people to the damage that come from those things that aren't being tested anymore and haven't been tested since Fauci and Reagan? Right? Since that, the testing went down. So what are they really up to? I don't know. People tell you the God gene and injecting things and stuff. I don't know anything about that. I just know that we are light beings. And if governments are so interested in ancient archaeology and hiding sites from people, and you got whole cities under the Giza plateau that people who live there say they used to play in as kids, and going back to the writings of Josephus and a few others, they talked about the cities that were under Egypt. But you go to Giza and you just see some pyramids and some stones and rocks and dirt, and you can't go underground. They're hiding something. The CIA has a site in Egypt, and so to me, it kind of goes along with the third eye in all of this in the conversation of light beings. I think there is a lot that they're not telling us. And the dumbest decision you can make is in the dark. If you're standing in a dark cave and there are cliffs in there, you don't start walking, you wait. You wait till there's some light so you know where you're stepping, so you know you're on solid footing. You don't go out there and whether Donald Trump is helping or not, Biden is helping or not, you don't know. And the idea that you would try to convince people you know something you don't know is actually defined as ignorant. That is literally the definition of ignorance. We need to be a lot more humble, and that's what I think. We need to be very, very careful, and we need to listen to each other more than trying to abuse each other and trying to convince people to know things that we don't. We need to be honest. All right, our axis has shifted on the precession of the equinox. I think that brings in new frequencies and phases others out. I believe so. I'm not sure about the equinox and the axis shifting, but I think as the planet moves through different portions of the galaxy where different frequencies are landing on the planet, and we are frequencies and they're interacting with us. So I think things are always changing. It seems like the ancients seem to know about that, right, Susan? They seem to know that when we go through different portions of the galaxy, different things are possible. Physics changes. Physics never remains the same. Right, because everything is based in frequency now. We know that physics is wrong because quantum physics is right. Nothing is a particle, nothing is matter, everything is wave and frequency. So what happens when you go to a different section of the galaxy and you're now being blasted by energy from different suns? A lot of things could happen, and as the planet axis changes, they expose you to different lights and different suns. So I think there's a lot to it. But once again, I will just trust the ancients' thoughts and ideas and questions over the 1%. So we need to sell more mass and sell more products that we don't believe in to inject in people. And I don't believe anything that they say. I don't have any reason to. And anybody who wants to get me back in the political world, just try to. I mean, that's where you'd have to start. You'd have to give me a reason to believe them. All right. They've been killing us a long time. This isn't anything new. No, they ain't got nothing to do with no damn Donald Trump. Stop. Right? They've been killing all of us a long time. We are literally a colonized world. We were all barbarians and tribes from Europe to Africa, the Middle East to Australia, and we were all peaceful for the most part and free because we had abundance. We needed food. You just go outside and get the food. Nobody massively owned the land. There were no massive kingdoms. We were mostly all tribes and sustainable. Lived our lives. Kids had fun. I would bet you English depression didn't even exist back then. I'm not sure it wasn't perfect. It had problems, diseases, butt bacteria and stuff. E. coli kill you, flesh-eating bacteria. They didn't have soap back then. So yeah, there was some technology we were missing. But I would bet everything. Those people were far happier than people today. I would bet you more than anything, suicide wasn't such a great big topic back then than it is today. So anyway, input, process, output. That's us. All right, let's go to the let's do the next portion. I'm going to move down, make sure I comment by everybody, and we'll move to the next portion. UF, United States Incorporated. Yes, unfudged. If that's what you mean, is that what UF means? Unfudged United States Incorporated. Absolutely. WebCT, all of that is, and welcome from Twitch. All that is not authorizing or removing or deleting, whatever you call it, the Washington, D.C. Act of 1871. And that's a topic for the entire world. That doesn't have to do with America. That has to do with the entire world. That is the empire. That is the spear that they're spearing and putting everybody on pikes on. Right? You get rid of the United States Incorporated, and a lot of things change. Well, one, America defaults back to a corporation. Ulysses S. Grant is the president, and try running against a dead man. See how that works? I kind of like that, though. I wish he could stay that way. I just believe in decentralization, WebCT. I think that, you know, our path to freedom is back to human sovereignty. So any steps we can take back in that direction is a great thing. Like the idea that anybody would vote for a corporation or they would still think. And it took me a while, though. So if I'm like pissing you off, you know, maybe think about this. It took me a while before I processed that. It took me a while. I didn't really understand it because people, we say it in passing. Oh, America's a corporation. America's a company. America's a company. It's a corporation. Okay. And you don't really think about it until you process, do corporations respect bills of rights? Do corporations respect constitutions? Do they have to? What is the purpose of a corporation? The same purpose of a business, because a business, its only purpose is profit. It doesn't care anything about you. It doesn't care anything about grandma. It doesn't, it's apathetic in nature, you know? And it took me a while, WebCT, before I finally understood that all they're going to do is what makes profit. And if electing charismatic presidents keeps everybody focused, then that's what they're going to do. If bringing in an international billionaire to tell everybody how to be healthy, and he obviously ain't healthy because he just looked like he about to fall over and die any day, or some little short goblin looking midget dude that they put on the microphone that's got bad chi that's not working, foul chi, they'll do it. If injecting their citizens in mass will make profit, if that'll bring in money from big pharma, they'll do it. If taking away their indemnity, which forces them to get better and better with their synthetic drugs every year, if taking that away will make money, they'll do it. And they did it. And they don't care. They're not supposed to. They're not a thing. They're a corporation. Their job is for everything for profit. That's going to send me way down into a deep thing, so we're not going to go there. We're supposed to be on the third eye. So I'm trying to link your comments to the third eye. So I would say that, ooh, WebCT, yes, I'm gonna try to link it to the third eye. So if you were sensing things in an esoteric way, you would sense that something ain't right. I keep voting for people and they keep just giving me the middle finger after they get in office. Why do they keep doing that? I keep voting for people because I ain't got no money, but every time I vote for somebody, they put bankers at the tops of all the cabinets to dictate what happens, CEOs from Goldman and Sachs. You know, I'm trying to be healthy. I'm trying to save grandma. I'm trying to eat healthy food. But every damn president keeps putting Monsanto executives at the top of at the FDA. You know, he just did that. Y'all know that, right? Although they didn't announce it today, so we don't know. We don't know if it's going to be Trump or Biden. Somebody's going to be pissed off today. But Biden already picked his cabinet. He picked his cabinet. Well, he didn't pick his cabinet. WikiLeaks was right. The bankers picked the cabinet. Obama got caught doing that. Obama probably picked two people at best, and I'm sure he didn't even pick those. Somebody else picked them for him. It was Citigroup picked all his cabinet, told him in an email exactly who was going to be his cabinet tops. That's what corporations do, right? And I'm sure they picked Trump's as well, and Biden picked his. I guess he was a CEO or CFO of Monsanto, and of course is Bayer now. You know, glyphosate implicated in the death of over 200,000 people in the United States Incorporated, slave plantation of a colony, as a comorbidity with cuckoo virus. Right? Project Bluebeam, that's another one, bonkers. Don't start me there because you know I'll be here all damn day. These people won't be here all day. Talk about the U.S. Talk about Tesla technology, people. Oh, I'm gonna take a bonkers. I think I had a post from last year. Oh, I want to do Eric July, but I think I had a post from last year that popped up on my feed this morning, right on that topic. You know, Why do you keep talking about UFOs? Because people need to know what's coming. If people know that that's not an alien invasion, it's just Tesla technology. He literally made schematics for it. What did I say this morning? Because the government engages in the UFO conversation, which is obviously a free energy crack, then climate change nor war would seem logical to any of their believers. I say that all the time, but I think that was what January 6th post, and that's why they don't want to talk about it. That's why when the engineers went to Congress to have the hearings to declassify 5,000 energy-related patents, some of them included relations to the electromagnetic device that they're flying around that people think is an alien. And it's not. It's just Space Force. It's just the next SR-71. It's for a stage alien invasion. They'll do it. They'll absolutely do it, bonkers. They will stage it. If they will stage a cuckoo virus invasion, hell yeah, they'll stage an alien invasion, especially if people are scared. You know, they don't have a choice. Government's supposed to do that. Corporations supposed to do that. That's the problem with cheering for a corporation that people are calling a government. All right, let's do the next section. Let's do the next section. Because y'all get me off, then I'm going to get in trouble.
Did the third eye give you? See, this, whether you go to Egypt or you go to shamans in ayahuasca, or whether you go to DMT takers, or whether you go to yogis in India, you're seeing a pattern. One, a very vast illumination. I mean, light like you cannot imagine. You know, 1,000 suns exploding in your head. This was the vision. Right? Now, for anybody who's even tasted a little bit of that, it is something spectacular. So the yogis that go into blissful states and can't stop laughing and can't stop being in ecstasy, these are seeing the 1,000 blasted thing in their head somewhere. You know, a lot of people experience this with DMT, with ayahuasca and things like that, but those are temporary. When you get it through these techniques that we're learning more and more about, it explodes. The other thing we also see is that huge inner strength, inner vibration, inner energy, and then you are able to overcome disease, overcome things like that. Creativity and beauty, that's a huge one. Outcome of tapping into this third eye. The fourth one is the idea of intuition, of actually meeting intelligence, of getting information from sources you would not have imagined before, seeing things before they happen. These are all claims of the third eye awakening. And the fourth one, which is the promise of the Upanishads and of Vedanta and of Tantra.
Oh, I'm gonna stop for a second. So he talked about time travel, right? Seeing things before they happen. Everybody does that, right? That's called deja vu. Everybody's a time traveler. There's a whole lot of things we don't know. And so if I understand it right, when you go to sleep, they're saying that the pineal gland releases DMT. And so is it possible that sometimes it releases just enough or just the right amount where you actually see into the future? I'd say, yeah. To me, you just explain prophets, right? Like there are things that we don't understand about Edgar Cayce, things we don't understand about the prophets and the scriptures in the Bible. Maybe it was a DMT thing. Maybe, you know, if you get the right amount or the right type at the right time, or if it's your sleep, you can actually see into the future. And it's more intuitive than deja vu. You know, to me, that's not crazy. I mean, deja vu is when the world should have stopped. And there's a few comments, and I'm not even sure if I can play this because my friends are going to keep posting things that interest me. I don't want to control the conversation. That's where I wanted to go, but I will say that I do try to let people drive things. I wanted more of a discussion. I'm not dictating anything to you. And if you're new, I don't know a damn thing. I'm trying to explore where I'm supposed to be as a human being, what I'm supposed to be doing. But there are a few things I wanted to focus on, so I'll let that drive the conversation. Oh my goodness, Gerard, you have to listen to these nurses' stories live on the High Wire in DC. Is today Thursday? Today ain't Thursday. Is the High Wire on? It ain't on today. No, today's Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. Or they're begging for us to stand and fight. Ooh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm going to let the comments drive the conversation, but I'm going to try to tie it to the third eye. And fight to see and be with our loved ones during their stay in the hospital. Powerful, horrific stories. They're begging us to stand and fight to see and be with our loved ones. Yeah, Barbara. So for me, that's taken me to The few people I know in the medical field, they talk about how horrific it is to watch, the elderly and people dying in hospitals and hospice and whatever, just completely alone. Yeah, I mean, people are going to have to really start to consider that they have to prioritize something other than themselves. This is what the current cuckoo virus fear has done. It's made them into apathetic bastards where they're just thinking about themselves. The reason, Barbara Peters, I don't really care about the Black Plague, and I got to close your comments so I can see myself. The reason I don't really care about dying from a virus is because I'm not scared to die. People are too cowardly. They need to grow up. They need to stop. When someone is spending their last moments as a frequency living in one of these human being bodies, you need to be there. You need to wish them well along their way. And that's another spiritual thing that the ancients handed down. There ain't no man, woman, or child on this planet that will ever stop me from seeing certain people as they leave as a vessel from this planet. You can put me in prison later. You can do anything you want to me later. I don't give a damn what you do. But I live free. Slavery is a choice, Barbara. And so I agree and understand what the nurses are saying. We're letting people go, and even children. Parents too scared to go see their children. And I think that in life, people will all have regrets. Don't ever let it be a regret that you have because television told you something that you can see with your own eyes. That's where I stop with that, Barbara, is when I look outside and I see people dying from the plague and vomit shooting out their mouths and blood from their eyes and just piles of goo and blood and stuff. I'm a social distance. I don't want to get your blood and goo and stuff on me, but I got somewhere to be. I'm stepping over bodies. I have somewhere to be. Like, I don't have time for this. So I'm gonna be scared and hide in the house. No, it's my fault if I die. Damn it! I shouldn't have been drinking international creamers with cow blood and pus and milk and sugar. I push the limits of what my body can take. But ain't nobody gonna tell me to stay in no damn house. I don't have time for that. And if you think I'm your slave, you got another thing coming. There's a whole lot of other slaves out here that would love to follow that 1%. I'm not one of them. So no, one of my family or friends are passing away. Barbara, I really don't even need to see the nurses' videos. I wouldn't dare let them go by themselves. And if I die, I die. I'm not really worried about that. Or give it to the draconians to appease them. What are we talking about, Gene? Is no big tree there? No, he's on Thursday. Not on Wednesday, on Thursday. If anybody needs a scientific explanation of why I don't give two dams about your sugar virus, you need to go to thehighwire.com. You'll get all your scientific answers, all the research, the links, the papers, the site, the resources, all the things that you need to see, all the whistleblowers. That's where you need to go. Jonathan Close, reason people leave places, no autonomy, no authenticity accepted. Okay, y'all having a discussion back and forth. I thought I saw a few comments. I'm getting down to it. Hold on. Grand Rising. Good morning, Muna Sabi. And whatever your profile name is, she about like at 5 profiles. Lots of human trafficking out of Conformia. Girls sent to Dubai to be used up. Jade, relate that to the third eye. At some point in time, we have to evolve beyond allowing a world that traffics children. At some point in time, we have to become a species that no longer allows societies that traffic women or people at all, right? And so that's a very real thing. Human trafficking is like the basis of colonization. It's the basis of the United States Incorporated. It's the basis of Britain. It's the basis of all of these economies. You literally inflict the ownership over people. You tell them where they can go, where they can't go. And if they don't listen, you traffic them in places called prisons or mass incarceration. And they might let Assange out today, right? Today's Wednesday. People in crowds out in London getting ready to let him out, which is a great thing, But that is a third eye thing, right? People have to see beyond that. Jade, I couldn't see when I worked in corporate America. Corporate America, I was an ignorant bastard. I wanted to make as much money as I could, and I never thought about all money is blood money. I never thought about, everything has a cost. And if we are feeding into an unsustainable society, that requires human trafficking and bloodletting and dropping bombs on some of the least, you got to tap into something different. You tapped into the right things if you think that's okay. You tap into the wrong things if you think that the oil prices are great because they're cheaper because you're blowing up people in other countries. Right? We have to stop thinking in terms of identity and start thinking in terms of frequency. We're all united. We're all connected. And as long as the world requires such evil, dark things, I can't, that I know I shouldn't be resonating with, I'm not going to partake. I'm going to do my best to off-grid from this society in every way possible. Monatomic gold has numerous properties. It's healing and can be used in levitation also. Yeah, we did the video on that, Chris. Monatomic gold, oh my goodness. And that was the Egyptian white cakes, you know. Here's another good one for people who still believe that the Bible is the unaltered word of God that was totally altered by kings. Over 120 canons, and that's why you got 8,000 different versions. Because they got Mount Sinai wrong, right? So Mount Sinai was not the Mount Sinai of the Bible. And I posted that book. Someone else can go find it and post a link if somebody wants to follow. Mount Sinai was a different mountain. And the guy wrote a book on it. And when he went to the mountain, at the top of the mountain, or midway up the mountain, they found the Egyptian temple. And it was Moses's grandmother or mother. I forgot which one, right? And it was a temple where they were manufacturing the white powder to make those Egyptian triangle cakes. And it was monatomic gold. And all of that white powder disappeared because once they refound that mountain, people collected it because it had value. It wasn't just dust and ashes. That there's something to monatomic gold. And obviously, the same way, Christ, I think of crystals being significant. I think of metals being significant, and especially gold. Huge significance to what is the liquid metal? It's liquid conductive metal. Use it in thermometers, right? So somebody will post it. If we are frequency, and crystal challenge frequency, because that's what it is, you know, and this is where my engineering side comes out. We use that in two-wave radios. We use crystals to get the precise oscillating frequency in military applications of the broadcast. And so if we are frequencies, then there's no question if crystals are used to tweak our frequency or tweak energy coming out of us into something else. So there's something to crystals and there's something to gold and perhaps eating monatomic gold. Mercury, thank you, somebody already got it. The liquid metal, right? And so, and gold is significant in that perspective because it's a conductive, right? And then mercury is interesting because it's not just a conductive metal, but it's a conductive metal of no form. So it can reform in different ways. And there are a lot of interesting things that we have to look into in terms of why they found mercury at the base of a lot of ancient sites. Right? One that comes to mind was somewhere, I want to say it was Chichen Itza. That's just the name of mine. Somewhere in South America, they found a bunch of mercury. They found mercury or they say there's mercury in the that massive pyramid in China, where they say, you know, it's booby trapped. They won't go into. It's one of the largest pyramids in the world. They won't go in because they say they're booby trapped entrances, and they don't want to destroy anything. So they want to use sensors to figure out where everything is before they go in. But the word is there's a lake of mercury in there. So they use mercury, but we don't know why. Which is probably why it's so dangerous to us. Like, don't nobody go drink no mercury. You're gonna die. You're gonna die quick, and it's gonna hurt. I wouldn't go eat gold either, too, because we don't know. You know, we have no idea what this stuff does in us. You know, but it's interesting to know that the ancients did, and we haven't figured that out yet. You know, there's a recipe, alchemy, monatomic gold, but mercury scrambling all your frequency communications. Like it is an ultimate carcinogen. It'll kill you quick. If you are a frequency and conductive metal interferes with frequency, mercury would be bad because it changes shape as you eat it and it goes everywhere, as well as aluminum and lead. And let's not let this go over to a discussion on causatism. When you put aluminum in things and you inject them in people and metals coalesce in the brain, yeah, Guillain-Barré, all the issues, the 3% side effects that people are having from that Pfizer thing. All right, anyway, let's keep moving. Schools are pushing liberal. Yes, they are, Jeannie. And no, actually, no, they're not. Never mind, take that back. They're not, because people don't know. Liberalism, a liberal believes in liberty. I have not met anybody yet who says they're a liberal that actually believes in liberty. They believe in putting face diapers on me. That's not liberty. So I don't think I think they're pushing something they're calling liberalism, but it's a means of burning up the planet and consumerism for the 0.01%. It's just a cult and a gang. But the people who push that, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. Same thing with the conservatism, because they don't read their Bibles. And Christ said to feed the world and to help to give everybody health care, not universal health care, but real health care, and heal everybody. Feed the world, house everybody, leave the monkeys alone, restore the Garden of Eden, be a steward on the planet. So yeah, I'm not, but the liberals call me conservative, conservatives call me a liberal, and I'm fine with that. Like I said, that people can resonate in any fake augmented reality they need to make them feel good about themselves. Child suicide is up 600%. Yes, it is, Barbara, and they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn because they're cowards and they're hiding in their house from it. Yeah, my name is Gerard, not Gerald. Okay, follow the DNA. They are strong. It is biorepositories and turning it into a renewable resource and selling it. Rutgers University in New Jersey. That doesn't surprise me, Kia. That doesn't surprise, and it's going to get worse. I don't understand all of that, but it'll get worse because nothing changed from 2020 to 2021. I still got people like, Happy New Year. And I'm like, yeah, you have no idea. You're not going to be happy when you figure this out. The monkeys last year who didn't think they had any power, or the oligarchs felt they had total power last year with the corporations to abuse the population and do the crap that they're doing, they have significantly more power this year. And I'm happy about it now. I'm not going to get upset and get to cussing how I did on New Year's Day. But if you think 2021 is going to get better, you might want to put on your seatbelt. Right? We just empowered the most powerful people on the planet, and we are like a steak dinner. We are, like that cartoon. What's that cartoon where somebody's hunting somebody else, and all of a sudden they just turn into like a big hunk of meat with a bone sticking through it, and he's like, his tongue comes out. This is old cartoon. We literally look like a piece of meat to the predators. And so now the chemical corporations, not just big pharma, the high tech, the war industry, everybody's going to prey on this fear. They're supposed to. Can't ever be a coward, can't ever be fearful. 2021 is going to suck. And all that DNA they're getting from them nose swabs, and it's just like, come on, if the police are swabbing people, where's that, Alabama? They can pull you over and swab your nostril, and they were saving the DNA, 23andMe or 27andMe, whatever the hell that is. They're saving the DNA, and now you're going to go to a legitimate hospital with a swab, and they say, "Oh, we're testing you for the cuckoo virus," and they just digging up in your nose, like John said, scratching your brain. Of course, they're saving that DNA. The question is, what are they doing with it? What are they doing with it? You might want to think about it. You know what freaks me out? Now this is just going all kind of different ways because our third eye is off and we're going along with what we see with these little two ignorant eyes that make us zombies. Zombie! It's that poor little white kid that all the vaccines are made from. Y'all know what I'm talking about? The infant MDR5, M7R7, something like that. That infant they stole the cell line from and they grew all the vaccines in. A whole bunch of them. That poor child wasn't even born. We need to give him a name. That's number one. He needs to have a name. If you're going to abuse and steal and put his DNA in billions of people, you should at least give that baby a name. Call him Scott White or something. Give him a name. As a poor little kid, they stole the DNA from and they're injecting it in. And this is where I get back to the scripture. I'm not into filling people. I do not consume human flesh. If you put it in there, no, you ain't gonna put that in me. That's cannibalism. Hell no. But biology believes, Bruce Lipton, what happens when you get cells injected in you that have receptors from some little white kid that died back in the 60s? Is that transmission still going from Orion, still coming here from the Pleiades? I started to talk about that yesterday. Y'all, I'm not ready to talk about it because it's just, my mind does crazy. It does some stuff. But it relates to when you get somebody else's organ. When you get their heart, you're like, didn't they solve a murder case from that? where the lady got, or some guy got some lady's liver or lung or something, and it was still had, of course, the receptor cells, and it was receiving a signal from her, and somehow he knew who the killer was? Wasn't that a thing? Don't get, maybe I saw it in a dream. No, it was real. It was real. You know, but if you're getting organs from other people and you're still receiving signals from whatever that what light creature energy thing is on Orion or Pleiades or wherever the hell we come from, heaven or something, you may not want to put other people's cells in you. Just consider that for a minute. You may not want to put other people's cells in you. That might be, damn it, if you don't put an animal cell in you. Where the HIV come from, it should be obvious. It should be obvious. It was not no man in no Africa having sex with a monkey. It was from the things they were injecting in people over there when they were told to use one type of monkey, not the monkey that had simian immune deficiency. And this also gets back to Fauci again. Fauci gets back to this nonsense again. Foul. All right, anyway. And 2 books are written on that. 2 books are written on the whole HIV thing. Anyway, all right, WWE on steroids. Yeah, it all is, Scott. It's a big show. It's all a big show. They just throw each other over the ropes. Here comes Biden. He's jumping on Trump's back. He's going to take a chair and do the maneuver. And Obama's going to do. And everybody gets into it. And it's like that sports app that they keep showing me that racist ads for because it's the brother with the black skin, Jamie Foxx. It's just sports. It's just NFL. That's all it is. That's why I don't really worry about it too much. It's just NFL. You know, some people on Team Trump, some people on Team Biden, some people on Team Kamala, some people on Team that. And they wear the jersey and act really silly. They all work for a corporation. The stadium ain't gonna pay you nothing. All right, they're just there to entertain you. Obviously misspelled, but thanks. Okay, I don't know what it is. All right, we're still talking. Yeah, everybody's on the politics. Well, no, maybe not. Doesn't Trump's people have Tesla tech? I don't think Trump has people bonkers. I think that he is an actor, and they picked him for a reason. That's the reason they picked Obama. He's charismatic. He would get people to blindly hate him or blindly love him so corporations can make a whole lot of money. I think somebody said his uncle or his grandfather got Tesla technology or something like that. All of that is possible, bonkers. You know, they don't tell me nothing. When the 1% wants to do something, I'm not on their email list. So, but even still, even if the Trumps had it and the Trumps were like the Kennedys and they were fighting the 1% to some degree, I promise you, he is not stupid enough to give it to us. They'd kill him in a minute. They put Assange in prison for a whole lot low. They kept him, drove him crazy, made him stay in a damn room for over a decade. For just telling the truth about America's war crimes. And people are like, yeah, well, he's a traitor against America. Number one, he's not an American citizen. He's from Australia. And 2, he talked about almost all the powerful nations, right? And as who did? Lee Camp. Lee Camp and the brother he has talks with did a great video on it last night where they just talk about it. It's like, no, Assange told the truth. WikiLeaks told the truth about a whole bunch of nations. And this is not a CIA event. I don't think, he could be CIA. I don't know, but he released information on corporations, African nations, Middle Eastern nations, Russia, and they just went through the favorite WikiLeaks that were just across the gambit. He is an enemy of the state because he's an enemy of all states because he's telling all the state secrets. So they need him. They need his philosophy, that philosophy to be shut down. The only way you grow mushroom is you keep them in the dark and you feed them a bunch of bullshit. All right. That's us. All right. See, I don't think Trump is that stupid. I think Trump is crazy. I don't think he's that crazy. I think he was in there for himself to a degree, and they're fine with anybody being a president. They can make anybody do anything that they need him to do. And they're gonna make Biden do exactly what they need him to do. All right, we're supposed to get back to the third eye. I just don't see anything with the third eye when it comes to politics. Anytime I meditate, the last thing that comes to my mind is who the master is. That doesn't resonate at all. What's the new law to abuse other people so I can get what I want? No, that's called narcissism and sociopathy. All right, wait a minute, your life is a dream. Reality is beyond. I think it is. I think we are dreaming. I don't think we're real. I think we're in a creation simulation, and the ancients try to tell us that. Anybody in the UK know if they let him out yet? Did they let him out? They were going to try to get him out today. And then the United States Incorporated is probably going to kill him as soon as he gets out, or Russia, or Britain, somebody he told the truth on. The Republic of Boogle in Africa that's got a puppet government put there by the United States Incorporated because Obama sent AFRICOM over to invade Africa and create slavery after killing Gaddafi and all of the slaves that came out in new slavery, which once again ain't got to do with Obama. It's just he's another actor and another puppet for the United States Incorporated. He's a staff of the corporation. Would kill him. Last thing Assange wants to do is be out on the street. I don't think he's gonna make it. Anyway, deja vu, aka a glitch in time. Yeah, a glitch, Sarah, that shows us we're all time travelers. We just don't know what the hell we're doing with it. All right, please, sir, help me. No spiritual progress, technology progress matters. Americans, technology, India, environment, investment, basic earning $20. Please, 30 people are watching you. Wait a minute, you on a different social media platform. I know, Andres, but I can't help you, brother. I'm not sure you keep asking me. I don't believe in money, Andres. I don't want to make any more money. I'm trying to get rid of all the money I have. I'm trying to get rid of everything that I got. And I ain't got a whole lot of that. Not get rid of is like burn up in the wind and the air, but I'm off-gridding everything. Andres, like I said before, I'm not somebody who gets on here and talks. Like, I learn from my friends and I change my behavior to do better. And if I don't, they're going to call me out on it, right? The love of money is the root of all evil. In all nations around the world, y'all need to go back to being sustainable, right? When the colonization came through the 0.01% and they destroyed all the barbarian tribes, they burned up, how you could live free, how to grow food, what is your medicine, how to build homes, how to make that tower that makes the water. Did y'all see that? Who posted that yesterday? I think Beaufont posted. I think I shared it, where they're making towers that are just pulling water out of the air. Go back to being sustainable. You don't want this world, Andres. You don't want this. This is psychopath. Look at our children. You don't want this world. You do not want this economy. You don't want this 0.01% slave plantation. Give up on this idea of money, because money is just based in debt, which means that you will always be a slave to the banks that print the money that don't do a damn thing, right? You don't want this world. India needs to be free. You come from some of the greatest people on this planet who have the longest history. Why do you think we're here doing this? We're talking about the third eye, and your land has most of the knowledge when it goes back to that. The world is looking at you. Don't look at us. We're still eating potato chips, Amish. We're still eating apple pie and potato chips for breakfast, trying to figure out why people dying of the flu. Do not look at us. We are trying to figure ourselves out. We looking at y'all. We need to go back to being sustainable people. Money shouldn't exist anymore. And from a technology perspective, if anybody's new, the day we invented 3D printers, money had no reason to exist. From that day, money was dying, and they know it's dying. They don't care about money. They care about control. Money is just a shackle for them. These billionaires and trillionaires, they couldn't spend that money in their lifetime if they wanted to. And they don't give it to you because they need you to keep working. Like, another good question. Why doesn't Oprah Winfrey?
Oh, she's just such a good person. Oprah Winfrey loves everybody.
Yeah, okay. She got enough money to feed everybody in the United States. She has enough money to create growth facilities to feed every single person in the United States. How come she doesn't do that? She has enough money to 3D print houses, to use those 12 companies that do that, to 3D print houses for every homeless person in America and still have billions of dollars. How come she isn't doing that? Okay. Not because she's bad, but the system won't let her. This is a system. You will get in the way of the hustle of home prices. Home prices will drop, and they will lay her out and slay her the same way the beef industry when they came for her. We literally have a world that's based in unsustainability and burning up the planet. We are all right, I'm gonna stop at that. I'm not gonna go any further down. I'm just saying, Anvish, you don't want this. Go back to the agrarian ways. Go back to sustainable. Go back to a resource-based economy, a gift-based economy, and eventually the 3D printers will be shared with the world. And once we're 3D printing metals, and which we are, 3D printing organs, 3D printing laptops, cell phones, TVs, every damn thing these idiots, these very foolish people are buying on Amazon will be 3D printed. Money has no reason to exist. Its only purpose, Anvish, is to enslave you. Time to cut the shackles and run. All right. Words have meaning. Oftentimes it's a double meaning, as in double speak, legal age. You know what I'm gonna do? I want to can I play the end of this? I want y'all to watch the whole thing of the brother's speech. I just want to play you the last few minutes of it. Then we'll do the we'll do all the discussion and comments. Please, just so you know, Gerard, my brother was gone. Oh, rest in peace. Yes, this has been my Twitch profile. Thanks, Dad. Okay, Dad. Yeah, Dad. Okay, Dad. Yeah, I miss Brother Gown. But you know what? We don't have to miss Brother Gown. He's still here. Everybody's still here. You know, and I've said that before, Dad. I didn't know who you were, but he didn't go nowhere. Gown is right here disagreeing with me right now. I can feel it. Can you feel the Gown energy? You know, and he disagreed. That's, you know, I miss the brother. I always appreciate people who are willing to step up. And he was always one that never played. You know, he never played. He's still disagreeing with me from a third eye perspective on a certain frequency. You know, but so is everybody else. Nobody ever goes anywhere, people. Nobody ever goes anywhere. We just return to energy. I just want to play the last few minutes, and then I'll do the comments. It was a deep conversation. And he goes through the science of it, the third eye, talking about it, but somewhere around right about, no, wait, where are we? Right here is where I wanted to play, closer to the end. You definitely want to watch the whole talk. I'll post the link.
Descriptions of people on large doses of psychedelic drugs.
Go back far enough. There we go.
Now, I'm going to show you a little video by a man called Dr. Rick Strassman, right? Who is the scientist at the cutting edge of research into this. So we'll just talk about that for a second.
All right, we're going to talk about it. He's going to talk about it, but I'm going to give a disclaimer, not to scare anybody away. Once again, I have never done a psychedelic in my life. I've never done a drug. The only drugs I had were 1% psychopathic, synthetic, Rockefeller medicine, allopathic drugs. This is not a druggy conversation. I'm not a druggie trying to get people to do any kind of drugs. I am a person who realized the efficacy of psychedelics and us evolving and moving forward. So we do need to pay attention to these things. And that is apparently one way to tap into the third eye, which Rich Strassman will talk about. I just want to clarify that because people are like, oh, you talked about this, so this means that you're that. And I don't do the monkey stuff. Y'all do the monkey stuff. I don't want to do the monkey stuff. So let's let him talk.
I was interested in seeing if I could determine a biological basis of mystical states. That was probably how things started in the first place. And I was quite impressed with some of the commonalities that seem to occur between spontaneously occurring mystical states, such as those that occurred with meditation and with spiritual practices, and even those described, from near-death experiences. Quite a few of those descriptions seem quite comparable to descriptions of people on large doses of psychedelic drugs. And so I started to think about the possibility of some kind of compound in the brain with psychedelic properties that could be underlying some of these spontaneous experiences. I began becoming interested in the pineal gland as a possible source of some kind of psychedelic chemical in the brain. It's an extremely mysterious organ. It's quite small. There seemed to be, some kind of a kind of visual correspondence with light and with color in the pineal. And also it has quite a long history in the context of the mystical literature. It's been described as the third eye and as the crown chakra, those kinds of things. And it's spoken of as being activated when people attain quite high mystical states. And so one of the interesting aspects of pineal development also is that it appears in the human embryo at around 49 days of gestation. And 49 days is also the time that the Tibetans believe is required for one soul to incarnate onto the next. So that was a pretty interesting, coincidence. At the time of the differentiation of the fetus into either male or female, that also occurs at that 49-day period. And so I was struck with this interesting kind of temporal, correspondence. And so as time went on, I started, looking into some of the chemistry of the pineal gland. And it seemed as if it was capable of making a compound called DMT. DMT stands for dimethyltryptamine. It's like a chemical cousin of serotonin. And it's quite a profound hallucinogenic type of chemical. It seemed as if the pineal contained all of the precursors and all the enzymes and all of the building blocks that would be required to make DMT. So I started speculating about perhaps there was DMT released in the pineal gland and stimulating the brain under extraordinary states, either through spontaneous mystical states, the time of death, or at times close to death. And also I started speculating that perhaps it was stimulated at the time of birth as well. The pineal gland is extremely well protected from stress, but you can stress the pineal gland if the stress is great enough. Pineal's protective mechanism can be overridden. And so obviously the most stressful time in a person's life is at the time of death. The stress hormones like adrenaline and endorphins are at extraordinarily high levels at the time of death. And so that could, possibly stimulate the formation and the release of DMT from the pineal gland at that time. And so you can, conceive of an individual's consciousness at the time of death being exposed to this big flash of DMT. So the last thing that one is conscious of in the body is the release of this huge amount of this incredible psychedelic compound.
So we are beginning to see the mystery unfolding here now. Little bits of it, little bits of it. That means that through hallucinogenic substances or through natural means such as intense meditation, intense breathing, darkness, sitting in caves, things we've heard wonderful stories about, something happens in the body that triggers the pineal gland to release this, what they're calling now metatonin, which is DMT. And it goes back to that old source of light, energy, intuition, all coming out of it. Right? So we're understanding that in India, for example, over the last few thousand years, we've seen an elaborate technology emerge to awaken this. And you can call it yoga, you can call it Kundalini yoga, you can call it Kriya, you can call it Tantra. There are different schools and names, but the purpose is the same. And you have it in the West also with Kabbalah, with Hermeticism, with other schools of thought like this, which are that can one, sitting in meditation, awaken this consciousness inside oneself and open one's third eye. And before it was restricted to mystery schools, it was restricted to people doing it under gurus. And, it is still, you need guidance, you need help, but you can achieve it. A lot of the young people today in their 20s are trying LSD and DMT all over the world. And we have to understand that there is suddenly a hunger to get beyond religion towards a more mystical and spiritual experience or connection. Right? And that's what this is all about. Let me show you this. This is the Indian system. And in the Indian system, the concept is that I need to come up to my brain somehow and create a unifying experience that opens my third eye. This is my purpose of that third eye meditation. And when I do that, two things happen. One is, in the metaphors of in Hinduism, Shiva and Shakti unite, and I have a unifying experience. And I explode, and now I am no more duality. I am no more two. I am one. Right? They found in the Kundalini system that they have two subtle systems that flow on either side of the body, the Ida and the Pingala. The Ida, you have the goddess energy, which is Shakti, which is on the left side of the body and the right brain. And you have the Shiva energy, or the sun, which is the right side and the left brain. And when these two marry, Shiva Shakti, we have that union. And so the whole purpose of this meditation is to lift up those two, clear them, and then up the middle we go, and we come to the Agya chakra and we explode. Right? Now, this is also known as that third eye activation. We see this over and over again in our metaphors and language. So we do know that there is a biology today that can explain the experience of spiritual enlightenment, of mystical experiences. And I would suggest to you, this is my argument, that this is the root of all religions. Everything else is scripture and metaphor after that. At its core is this awakening. But I would suggest to you something else, that it's actually awakening of three different parts. One is the lower part, which connects us to earth. One is the heart, and one is the head. Now, to get to the head, we have to go through the heart. This is the yoga. This is the idea of yoga, right? You have to climb up. That's why we say ascension. That's why we say aspiration. That's why we say lift your mind up, because you're going upwards. That means we're trying to get to the pineal gland. Right? That's what it means. Right? The awakening process is what all these systems are about. And whether it's Sri Vidya or Shaivism or Kundalini Yoga or Kriya, any of these schools teach you these things, right? But I think that once you understand the science, once you understand the metaphysics and where you're coming from, you become, in a way, a better guru for yourself. And that's what I am suggesting to you, is that you need teachers. By all means, you need teachers. But learn to read the things as they are today and what they mean to you and what they can do for you. So what we've learned today is that the lizard brain, the reptilian brain, if correctly managed, can open a pineal gland, a third eye in our heads, that if managed correctly, can take control of our cortex and stop our thinking process, which is meditation. And then with intention or samana, we can go forward and we can induce an intention. I want to be awakened. I want to be creative. I want to have insight. I want to understand. I want to heal. I want to have my balance in my life. And in the Indian system, what they say is that you go up there, open that, and then you come and live at the heart, where the soul lives, apparently. This is the key, that in your heart, if you can live in your heart and meet cosmos with your brain, this is the Indian metaphor. So you have to balance all three. There are many ways to do it. As I said, Kundalini is definitely one. Kriya. Many people have practiced Kriya here. I do know that. And there are techniques to create awakening, right, that you can learn. Trance is also very powerful. Trance, dance, drumming, hypnotism, these kind of things, they really awaken this stuff in you. But you got to try and keep yourself at that level. Then you have Tantra and sound and mantra, the whole Devi worship, the whole using mantra to awaken each part of your body, and the whole body is a temple for that goddess. What we think of goddess is outside, it's actually your body. You're meditating on your body. This is what your body is. Devi is your body. Shiva is consciousness. Shakti is your body. The body is your vehicle to achieve Shiva consciousness. Correct? Thank you, sir. And Tantra is all about sound and geometry and practices like that. When people say, oh, I'm scared of Tantra, or Tantra is this and that, it's not. Tantra just means a mechanism, an engine for doing it. It's a technique. It's a technique. And most of the techniques that people think of, even transcendental meditation is Tantra. Kriya Yoga is Tantra. These are all tantric schools. Right? So don't be scared of Tantra as an idea, but understand what it is. It is using subtle techniques to awaken different parts. Right? The sun gazing, by the way, I've been doing this for a while now, and that first hour after sunrise and that first hour before sunset is when the UV of the sun is low, and it has been shown to clear the pineal gland, right? And in fact, this is now legitimate. We're looking at the science of it also right now. And if you look at the sun, for starting with 10 seconds, then 20 seconds, each day, more and more. I'm up to a few minutes now. And you stay with that, it actually begins to affect your pineal. It actually begins to, you have more vision, you have more different things. So these are all techniques. What I'm suggesting to you is that you can treat meditation in one of two ways. You can treat meditation as a way of just calming down and overcoming stress and worry and fear and anxiety, right? And mindfulness, to be observant, to be aware, to be in this moment. That's a beautiful school of meditation, whether it's Vipassana, whether it is, whatever you want to call it, mindfulness, whatever you want to call it. Meditation like that is beautiful. But then there's also meditation with intention, which we call prayer also, which is to turn upwards, turn inwards, and ask to be lifted up. Right? And that's quite something else. And I can't tell you that this is religion, because I don't have a religious bone in my body like that, but I do have a mystical bone. And that mystical bone tells me that all of us should strive in some way to connect with this in some little way, even in our lives. And that's going to be a very good experience for all of us.
Speaking of connection, so that was a great video. Hang on, let me post a link real quick. That wasn't the whole talk. It's actually an hour-long talk. I cut it up. You can go back and look at it and make sure my mic is on because I'm running my mouth. Okay, there you go. My mic is on. A few things I want to say. So this gets back to my theory, right? And I appreciate, Susan, what you're saying right there. Because I was thinking, and being a plant guy, like I was like, what the hell is this whole psychedelic thing? Like, why in the world would a plant make compounds that allow human beings to tap into frequencies to allow them to see things that they don't normally see? Well, one, if let's just say we came from Orion, let's just say that's the case, and all of this crap is based in a technology that they use panspermia to bring life here, that all cells have receptors to connect to the signal from Orion or Pleiades or heaven, wherever you want us to be from. Plants, you'd want to control the plants, wouldn't you? Maybe. Right, we sent a Curiosity rover to Mars. We still control that. We've got a Wi-Fi signal. It's got an antenna, so we can send broadcast signals so we can control it. It actually drives itself a little bit, right? Like we gave it a little bit of AI. This gets into the theory I had a few weeks ago. You give it onboard AI to manage certain things, like the Curiosity rover. That's to go around certain little bumps and hills and stuff, and so they upload and they make changes. But for the most part, it does a lot of its own driving. It has to. Almost like a human being. You'd upload a certain level of consciousness, but you wouldn't give it everything to kind of do a little bit of driving. So maybe we're sitting back on Pleiades. Maybe we're sitting in heaven. We're sitting at Sol. We're sitting in Orion. And we're driving these vehicles. And our onboard intelligence, our conscious mind, is somehow able to get a stronger signal or tune into that third eye communication when we eat a plant. Why? Because if the plants need to stay in contact with whatever this is, soul, Planck energy, signal, whatever, it would make a compound to allow it perhaps to maintain that connection. And when you eat that plant, it either taps you into that frequency or a slightly different frequency. I don't know. But plants don't do anything that don't make any sense. Everything they do, there's a reason for it. There's a reason for every single compound to be in plants. So I don't know. I process through that. I think about that. So it could be a thing. But everything we need comes from nature because that's how these bodies evolve from whatever they evolve from. And maybe we kind of get off tune. Maybe after a while, another group of aliens show up, tweak things, add their DNA, screws up the connection, get modified, change that, what is that, the second chromosome or whatever it is. And they got to come back as Anunnaki and kind of modify things, or aliens show up and realize how sexy Earth humans are, and the sons of light come down, the angels and the demons, and all the scriptures, all those stories, right? You know, the wars that are fought in the Mahabharata and the accounts of these aliens in the past. I still think that ancient aliens is a thing. I think that they're mostly ancient, and you only see them when they want you to see them. Everything that most people see are balloons and United States Space Force. But we look up and pray for a reason. Right? We look up to sky gods for a reason. You know, most people don't look in the ocean. They look up to the sky gods because that's where the gods came from, in their ships. Right. Not if it remains outlawed and we don't want to obey the government. Lots of laughter, much love and rap. Okay, y'all talking about the Schedule 1, the war on drugs. You know, and I got some theories on that, Bob, because I think that I agree with it's a good time to bring up them finding cannabis in the incense holders in the early churches in Israel, right? Because that was one of the news releases earlier this year, that they had the early incense holders from the early churches. And the guy wrote the book on it. Actually, I haven't read the book yet. I put it on my book list. And they found residue of cannabis. So they know that the early churches were getting high. There's no question about that. I think a lot of these things perhaps open our mind to the reality that this isn't it. They open these eyes to the reality that there is a third eye, and there's a lot more going on here than what we're aware of. Like religion is a gateway drug for that. But then they had to sever that connection. So the Catholic Church banned, you know, the mushrooms and the cannabis and things that they use to get their audiences high as hell. Maybe it was working too much. Maybe people didn't want to go to war. Maybe they didn't want to crusade. Maybe they didn't want to give up their children and stuff like that. So either way, they banned it. And that was kind of the beginning of dictating to people what they can and can't do when it comes to their own self-medication. And I think the war on drugs and Schedule 1, I think that's just the next version of it. Maybe the Rockefellers or Rothschilds, because it was the Rockefellers who were behind allopathic medicine. And they realized that if people are tapped into this stuff, that they won't be happy with blowing up Yemen and stealing their resources and starving children. They won't be happy to just make more money. Just get up the next day and do it again. They won't be okay with a monetary system that involves bloodletting all over the planet. So I think the whole war on drugs and that Schedule 1, a big part of it is the fact that some of the nicest, most interesting people I know use psychedelics. I'm not one of those people. Eventually, one day in the future. But they don't want you to question yourself. Because that's the one thing that bonkers most of my friends, and I don't know if you've done psychedelics, but most of my friends who do psychedelics say it makes you question yourself. And you can't have identities if you got people question yourself, right? Some people can get to that just in life, and through others through meditation, others through circumstance, accident, and others through psychedelics. But I guess everybody can get to it through psychedelics. I think bonkers, what I do is very dangerous to the powerful elite. I think because it's something that people did long before me, you know, Martin Luther King and the rest of them. When you teach people to question themselves and question their lords and question their king, you make a lot of enemies and they want to kill you. And that's why the black people got together at the top of the civil rights movement with the other folks on the other side to kill Martin Luther King with the government. They all work together. Questioning yourself is the most dangerous thing to a system that requires you to be an identity, a label to be controlled. You know? So I think that's where Schedule 1 came from. I think that they needed people to be apathetic, subhuman, grouped, black, white, American, whatever you are, men, women, straight, gay, LBGT and Q. They need people to have labels so they can abuse them and put them into ignorant group think blocks to where they know they can compete. They can beat group think. They got group think beat. They know how to, because they're not smart. The 0.01%, they're not that smart. They've been inbreeding for a long time. They got all kind of crazy bad things happening in their DNA, but they can beat us if we're in groups, because then we're just cattle and we go along with the group. Oh, the black people going over here, I'm gonna go over here. The black people saying this, I'm gonna go say this. Oh, the white people saying this, I'm gonna go over there. Oh, the Christian people saying this, I'm gonna do. So they needed us in those groups. And I think bonkers, that's the most dangerous thing. That's the number one reason psychedelics are illegal, because they make you question yourself and they make you question your ownership and your government and your church and your pastor and your civil rights leader and your white lives matter leader, your black lives matter. And it makes you question things, and they don't want questioners. Like George Carlin said, they need people who are just smart enough to run the machines, but dumb enough not to question why. And controllable enough to be grouped by an identity label where they'll do dumb things just because everybody else is doing it. Blind following. So yeah. Oh no, I'm for legalizing all drugs, bonkers. I don't think drugs exist. I think the only thing that might need to be illegal is what comes from laboratories from big pharma. All right, so I'm definitely for legalize all of it. Let everybody out those prisons. You ain't got no damn right to put people in prisons who are self-medicating, because you put them in a society that's so horribly designed that people have mental illness as a default. All right. Oh, and as a witch, the PNW, we directed the rogue spirits to destroy the USA and its Congress. Next, we got a plague. Hooray for nature. Man is a disease on earth. Wait a minute. Man is a disease. Wait a minute. Man is a disease. Death is a cure, and acceptance is our way out. Kind of, sort of. Mostly, Jimmy. Mostly. And I'm on nature's side. We'll see what happens. But if people go extinct, humans go extinct, then that was the right thing. That's why I'm not worried about the plague, Jimmy. I don't walk around no damn masks. Number one, they don't work. Number two, when nature says our time is up, our time is up. If our governments create bioweapons that kill everybody, then everybody's supposed to be killed. Right? I agree with nature. If we are this stupid, we shouldn't continue on. I agree with natural selection, not just from a me perspective, not just from a herd or a tribe perspective, but from a species perspective, right? If I don't know how to not eat so many damn potato chips that the flu kills me, then I should die. If my species can't learn that it shouldn't be blowing up its children with high velocity munitions, so people can buy things on Amazon and have a latte in the morning to work for the corporations that all serve a black market called Wall Street, which is just another East India trading company, colonization department. We don't need to be here. Tantra is, technic, not sex. Okay, all right, good. Goodness gracious, I'm glad you clarified that, Christine. I didn't know what it was. When I hear that word, that's the first thing that sort of comes to my mind, but I don't know nothing about it. Susan Drool, did you dry them and save them for later? What are y'all talking about, the toads or some mushrooms? Exactly, they appear at the right time when your consciousness needs them most. Are you talking about beings, Marianne? I'm not seeing any beings. I've seen a frequency through meditation. It's really weird, but that was confirming enough, Marianne. I know there's a lot more going on here, but we know. I know that we can meditate and get to a space so deep that it tweaks what our brain allows us to know about the frequencies our eyes see. And I saw it, and it was last week, and I'm still processing what the hell that was. But I've not seen any beings. Hey, they haven't revealed themselves to me. I'm not on that level yet. Bonkers, Tommy, Murdoch's law have never stopped me. All right, we got talking about drugs. Let me get down to comments. Gurus like Kermashami Napaturi are there. My guru. Think Sad Guru too. Yeah, I like Sad Guru too. The first one I cannot pronounce, Christine, but I shall. Take a look. Sun dancing is done by planes for the last 10,000 years. Yeah, Jimmy. They all knew. That's what boggles my mind. You know, I don't really care what's on every damn television on every continent, but I do care what the ancients in a lot of tribes on all continents believe. They knew a whole lot back there, more than what they should have known. I mean, even like sage. How the hell they know sage does what it does in the brain? You know, how did they know unless they tap into these things? I like that, Jimmy. It was a documentary about Tibetan monks and how they would go in caves. And he started to talk about it in the video, how they go in caves and they would meditate because they had nothing else. Their food was hard to grow. There was no Sega Genesis. They didn't have tennis courts and stuff. And so they'd go in the cave and meditate in darkness. And that's how they realized, what is it, 3 days in total darkness and meditation. Then either your pineal cuts on and keeps releasing DMT, but you ascend to a different plane. Like he started to talk about it, but don't get me talking about it because I'm starting about it. I forgot, but it's interesting. But I think they tapped into these things, Jimmy, and they probably did back then out of hardship. They had to develop technologies to allow them to tap into whatever this source is to help them solve problems, and now we do it for different reasons too. But we can do it now out of abundance. We can do it out of hardship. We can do it because we know that this world is hard on the least. And we don't want to be hard on the least anymore. All right. Good Lord. Apply towards sex, I believe. Okay. Well, it's good to apply things to sex, Jeannie. That's not bad. I mean, you got to keep the monkeys happy. If the monkeys ain't happy, bad things happen. And Bill Clinton realized that, which I still don't know what WikiLeaks is. I still think WikiLeaks is the Monica Lewinsky thing. I think that's their dress. All right, let me stop. That's gonna go the wrong way. Hey, Sag. Oh, wow. Oh, ouch. Ooch, ouch. Why is Sag a frog? Zachariah. But usually when I'm hit with something, I always just throw it back at me and everywhere else. Who isn't a fraud? Good question. Nice word, Zachariah. Who's not a fraud on Monkey Planet, on a planet where we're all spiritual creatures having a human experience in 98% monkey bodies? Who isn't a fraud? I think everybody's a fraud. It's like the controlled opposition thing and Julian Assange. We're all controlled opposition. We're all frauds. We're all driving avatars. Nobody is himself. We don't even know what ourselves are. So is Sadhguru a fraud? I'd say, yeah, he's a fraud. But is he outright lying to people? I don't know. I like a lot what he says, Zachariah. But I will say that I don't follow him blindly. I don't follow anybody blindly. I won't follow Julian Assange blindly. Won't follow no political parties, or I won't follow my grandmother blindly. I question everything. But for me, the question, Zachariah, is does Sadhguru have something to teach you? And if he does, then you should listen to him to get that teaching. And the way I look at it is I think everybody has something to teach me. I know you got something to teach me, and I hope you stick around to teach me. But I think to a degree, we're all frauds. I don't think we have any reason to be in conflict with one another. The life you lead, the life you lead is itself your highest guru. Yes, and I think you are your own guru too. And I think you just use little gurus down here to help you tap into yourself, and then you move on. And so you get what you need from Sadhguru, then you keep moving. And maybe you'll go back. Like I said, I've jumped gurus a bunch of times. When someone has something to teach me, I'd stick around. Homeless people taught me a lot. Who's that? Both and Zachariah, homeless people taught me a whole lot. I remember this drunk dude. I used to live next to this drunk dude. Man, goodness gracious, the circumstances. Every time I pull up, I had a 300ZX back then. I was in college. I pull up, and, hey, driver, you just tanking that alcohol. He lived next door. I didn't live in the hood, but anyway. And no, he was just an old dude. And every now and then, most of what he said was just like, whew. It was out there. But every now and then he'd have something deep to say. He would just blow up the spot with something deep. And I think he was probably one who started to tap me into talking to homeless people. If y'all want to blow your mind, go talk to some homeless people. Don't just step over them and throw coins at them and some old French fries that you didn't want out the bag. Stop and talk to them a little bit. You'll be surprised at the level of knowledge is in people. Are a lot of homeless folks crazy? Hell yeah, they're crazy because they're out on the street. That's what the street does to you. I think the statistics says like after 3 months living on the street, it starts changing you, and starting to put you on a spectrum of survival, which to us seems crazy. But people who just sit around and observe society, those are people we need to hear more from. But I think everybody has something to teach you. That's what I think. Good Lord. But misuse through sexuality. Yes, Christine, everything is misused. Everything we go to nth degree, especially potato chips. Potato chips, GMO, sugar, all the things that make people die of the cuckoo virus. All right, Christ Innocent. Yes, I have saved them. Okay, just waiting for the right moment. I want to be able to spend most of my time outside in more natural setting. I'm with you on that, Susan Jewell. I don't know what you're saving. As long as it ain't okra, we good. But we're outdoor creatures. We're not indoor creatures. That's why we feel good in nature and we suck in offices and we suck inside. We need to be outside, breathing fresh air in the sun, observing nature in our element. The human being is an outdoor creature. It is not a box creature. Fungi, his fungi, wait a minute. Fungi is a fungi. Y'all talking about Paul Stamens, the mushroom guy, fungi guy, Mr. Microcelium guy. And if you didn't watch Paul Stamens' last interview on Joe Rogan, you should watch that. It'll blow your mind. The CIA is interested in this stuff for a reason. Right? U.S. government, United States Incorporated, because they weren't the U.S. government. They were when MK Ultra started, they were already the United States Incorporated. They were a corporation. It's not the U.S. government. The United States Incorporated was highly interested in psychedelics for a reason. The homeless are actually free. They are, Angela. They are ish. Let me take that back. I don't say they are. The homeless are free. The homeless are living freer than us, but they are still slaves in concrete jungles. A lot of them. You get a homeless person out on a mountain, they're definitely freer, but they're still enslaved to the United States Incorporated. Like they still will get blown up, stolen, injected, or abused, however profit dictates, as long as the Democrats and the Republicans serve United States Incorporated because they don't give a damn about lives. To them, no lives matter. They lie. Their lives can't matter in defense of Democrats and Republicans because they're just departments from within a for-profit corporation. They're for-profit departments from within a for-profit corporation. They're not political parties. They can't care about your life. It's not their job to care about your life. It's their job to pretend they care about your life. And that's why John Bolton get out there and cry and I'm so sorry for the crime bill. And who did that? Clinton, he did it too. I'm so sorry for the crime bill. But he didn't undo it, did he? He didn't do it. I know he did not undo that joke. But he kept that crime. So now your butt gonna stay in prison. We're gonna put a whole bunch more of you in there too. They ain't changed nothing. That's what, and it's the same thing with this thing that they want to inject everybody with. Right? Ignore what they say. Watch what they do. If they don't matter how confident they are on TV, let them be confident as they want on TV. When you look at the law, if you see in their actions that they have not changed, then they don't believe the crap that came out their mouth. It is their job to be perceived that way on television. That's why they're confident about it. Oh, it works, 98% effective, damn it. But if you try to sue me, you can't sue me because we have a law to make sure you can't sue me. If you die or your face is half paralyzed, you end up with Guillain-Barré syndrome. You can't sue me. But it worked. It's safe and effective. But I got billions of your dollars that we stole from your tax dollars for the vaccine injury fund. Just don't trust it. Don't trust it. Just watch people. Let them talk. We're just watching. You'll see. All right. But there are lots of temptations by plants too. Ooh, poison plants. You don't take either. So you need to have discernment. Natives know. Oh, absolutely, Christine. Absolutely. If you ever question that, go online and buy some poison ivy lotion. See how that works out for you. I'm still working on my poison ivy essential oils. Anyway, is Anvish here today? Yeah, he is, Coco. He was here. He left. He was here earlier. He's still looking for a job. We had that money discussion a little earlier on. All right, took LSD by mistake, thinking it was no big deal. To my surprise, taught me all about truth. Without the trip, I never would have changed. It took a shock for me. That's beautiful, Jennifer. I tell you what, I am the most non-doing psychedelic, supporting psychedelic person. I hear y'all talk about it. My lips get to watering. I can't yet. I can't touch no damn psychedelic stuff. Even, mushrooms. I think my first route, though, Jennifer, I escape off this damn plantation. It'll probably be ayahuasca. I don't know. Like, I like the idea of DMT or ayahuasca, but see, for me, none of it's recreational. I want the whole ceremony, Jennifer. I'd said that before. I'm interested in what it can do. From the religious, cultural perspective, I want a shaman, Jennifer. I want a man. He's going to have a grass skirt, but it's going to have to be a thick grass skirt because I can't see no testicles if I'm taking ayahuasca. I want him to be dirty, had that mud on his face and stuff. The whole stereotypical racist thing. I want a real ceremony. Dance around the fire, shake some sticks. I want the real experience. I don't want the American experience. I don't want no kid with no freckles. Hey, take this, put this in your mouth. I might trip or something, but no, I want to really experience it. And ayahuasca would probably be the first one, Jennifer, because it makes you vomit. It gives you diarrhea. It's basically okra. It's like an okra that enlightens you. So I know I won't be addicted to it. I know I'll probably do it once, be like, that's it, done. I had a chance to do it, Jennifer. There was a shaman not too far. One of my friends was going, oh, we should go. Like, yeah, I should go. I should go, shouldn't I? Not yet. No, listen. I tell you about people who are cowards and not saving grandmama. I'm a coward when it comes to psychedelics. I'm not ready for that yet. I will at some point. Anyway, thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your testimony and your perspective. Yeah, I don't like I'm not interested in the recreational. They got alcohol for that. I have no interest in recreation. All right. The plants store up the energy of the sun. We eat the plants and the power of the sun combust in our body. It's all connected. Oh, it absolutely is. That's what I told my doctor, Susan. Last time I took my son to the doctor, which was damn near 15 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it was. He said, what do y'all do for protein? I said, we eat it out the plants. What do y'all do for protein? I said, that all protein comes from the sun. She didn't like that one. All energy comes from the sun. You can either eat it straight out the animal or straight out the plants. I eat straight out the plants. All right, no, just humans, animals be tripping balls. Oh, yeah, not just humans. No, right. Oh, yeah, well, because I have a friend who feeds his cows cannabis. And people, they let their dogs smoke some tweed. Animals too, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're all mammals. And, you know, these frequencies that you can tune into, I think it's something. I don't think we understand it, but I think it's something. It's not magic okra, Robert. There's no such thing as magic okra. It's just ogre. It comes from ogres. Ogre doo-doo. It's green. It's just ogre. That's why I call it okra. O-G-R-A. You misspelled it. Ain't no magic okra. Ain't nothing magical about it, except for when water's shooting out your butt. That's about it. Ain't nothing. Nope, not at all. Yeah, catnip. Yes, good example, Diane. Catnip. All right, let's get into the last comments. Okay. We're talking about okra. That's when I know it's time to go. Sorry, we eat the plants, not the planets. Wait a minute. Whoa, what? Sorry, we eat the plants, not the planet. Oh, no, that's a lie. So don't be lying on here. Fake hashtag fake news. We do eat we are literally gobbling this planet up. We are gobbling it until we open this third eye. Right on topic. See, gotcha. Right on the topic. Until we open our third eyes and we realize a lot more going on. Realize that every market, all the Wall Streets are black markets, and they're just burning the planet up. People trying to save the climate. People burning the climate up. Just burning it up. They don't even care. Because all these little things are cults and gangs. Yeah, we are eating the planet, and the planet is only going to have but a minute of us doing that before the planet says y'all going to have to get the hell out of here. We are definitely a virus on the planet. We're definitely a virus on the planet. Say it sounds fair, Zachariah. Thank you. I think we need to be fair. We should try to be fair. I try to be fair all the time, best that I can. I try to be. Only got about a minute left being fair to Hart. I'm about to lay his butt out. That damn face out. All right, great example of the pitfalls of spiritual materialism. Yes, and materialism is a pitfall everywhere. It puts its ugly head. If a guru asks you for money, then you have the wrong guru. I would say if a guru asks for money, he's not a guru. He's a guru. There's something wrong with him. If a politician asks for votes, he's not a politician. Wait, we're gonna apply that a few places. If the grocery store asks for money, then those probably ain't vegetables, probably ain't grocery. The best things in life are free. People require that you give them something to give you something back. That person is a fraud and a phony. That person's third eye has to be closed. We have to become a gift-based world, y'all. I know it's hard to process. I used to be I'm still a capitalist. But we have to get past this idea that I'm going to give you something if you give me something. That's psychopathic to me. The way my mind works now, it's stupid. Like, we are here for each other, and we're all a part of the same energy. We are all one. We're all connected. We're all quantumly entangled. When other people are doing bad, you're doing worse. So don't you want them to do good? So absolutely, I agree. If your guru wants money, he's not a guru. He's a guru. All we need is food, land to live on, water to drink, and for people to leave us the hell alone. That's all we need. That's all people need. That's all every guru needs. And they need more than that, and that's not a guru. It's a guru. All right. Our guru has some affiliations with Ramtha. But the affiliation was controlled at arm's length. All right. I don't know who Ramtha is, but that Ramtha don't sound too nice. That's an affiliation you might want to be careful of. There's so Edgar Casey quote, Zachariah, you gonna get me, bro? You gonna get me? Hey, love me some Edgar Casey. If y'all know who Edgar Casey is, y'all need to look him up. Look him up. He was in tune with that third eye. That man used to go to sleep, wake up, and diagnose cancer. And he opened up a whole damn hospital, ran a whole damn capitalistic business, successful. Just going to sleep, waking up saying, you got leukemia, you're gonna die unless you eat these herbs. And he was saving lives. People came from around the world to see Edgar Casey. So he was definitely in tune with something. Did he get everything right? No, but he got a hell of a lot more right more than I have, Zachariah. So, that man knows a lot more than I do about the Akashic record and pulling down information or opening that third eye. So what's the quote? As I've just to set it up to say that, yes, Edgar Casey knows more about this topic than I do. So if it's a quote about the topic, then I'm going to listen to it. There's so much good in the worst of us and so much bad in the best of us, it doesn't behoove any of us to speak evil of the rest of us. Ooh, yes, I got chills up my spine on that one. Right. And so this goes along with there are no good and bad people. It's just people. It's just environment. That's all. There's no good and bad people. It's just people. Environment. You spend more time in a good environment, you oscillate more in a good doing good things. You spend more time in a bad environment, you oscillate doing more bad things. And that's why we have the world we have. That's why every child is born into a bad environment, because government requires them to be in a bad environment. It requires them to oscillate in the bad. In my country, Zachariah, if you're in the United States, that's how it's designed. I mean, it's designed this way in most countries. But people who are opposed to each other, there are people that are easy to enslave. People who realize they're all connected, they're very hard to enslave. So absolutely, that is an awesome, amazing Edgar Casey quote. And I'm going to leave that where it is, unless y'all want to hear, what is her brother's name? Eric July. I'm tempted to play his video, because I think his perspective might help a lot of people. He gave his perspective on what's happening in like the lockdowns and how all this works. And I found it to be interesting. I think I'm going to play it real quick. Oh my God. There are no good and bad people, but you got to pick and choose your own way. And in a way, his little talk right here, it kind of is about the third eye, right? You got to pick and choose your own way. You have to decide. Don't let anybody decide for you. Let me get out of here. 2547. 2547. What is he talking about? That's okay. You don't worry about what the players are singing about. You don't know that movie. I sing that like 8 times a day. That's my whole music. Here goes Eric July right here. Let him tell you. See me here first.
In this whole thing playing out with the pandemic and the whole vaccine thing. Now, we already know that they've lied, and the health officials, the public officials, the official officials, from the presidency really on down, about how this.
I'm trying to get it big so y'all can see it. That's what she said. No, that's not it. No, stop.
Obviously more so from the governors and who they have working for them, basically saying that, look, okay, you do this thing temporary and then we move on, and then we get on the other side of this, and then we return to normalcy. 15 days slow to spread, and now we're into December. So they've lied about everything it was that they were going to do. But 15 days slow to spread turned into stop all the cases, turned into you can't return to any sort of normalcy until you got to wear a mask, and you got a mask mandate on top of the lockdown. So they bait and switched you on that. And now they're talking about this whole vaccine thing. And now they say, well, vaccines, we can return to normalcy. But to be fair, that's not really what happened, because Dr. Fauci said that, well, no, the social distancing mask thing gives y'all this false sense of security. You should be prepared even with a vaccine to socially distance and do whatever. Okay. But this is how I envision this vaccine thing. And I think it's important that you guys know this. I'm not the first. This isn't like this sort of profound information or anything that I'm throwing out there. I would think that other people would think of it this way, but you got to understand what's popping off. It's important. When the vaccine does become a thing, which it does seem to be right around the corner, understand that it will be a quasi mandate. And what I mean by that, they aren't, I could be wrong about this, but I don't really see them actually coming out and being like, you know what, it is absolutely mandatory, no matter who you are, no matter where you work, that you get a vaccine. And if you don't have a vaccine, we're going to send the police or feds or whatever to now confiscate, your life, right? They coming to get it, right? Bet. And it may be done by force after that. I don't see that happening. Okay. But it will be a mandate effectively, because who they're going to put pressure on is really the same people that they put pressure on in regards to the mask mandates and the lockdowns. Yes, in certain areas, you got both, right? It basically, if you were out, didn't matter in public or anything, no matter if it didn't matter, you would get fined, you would go to jail. Those threats were forced upon you. Okay. But with this vaccine, how I see them doing it is how a lot of places have done, including Texas, with the mask mandates, where the pressure doesn't come by way of the individual. It comes by way of businesses and places where folks gather, things like that. So what they do is they threaten them and say, you have to require people that are going to be using your facilities, are going to be working at your facility, that are going to be shopping at your facility or your place of business, your store, whatever. They are required to be vaccinated with the COVID-19 whatever vaccine that has a 95% effective rate on a 99% survivability rate based virus. We already discussed that. Go look at the previous videos. Go watch previous episodes. But that's where the pressure is going to come, because they can get away with that. So what happens is they threaten licensing and stuff like that. We do see that happening right now. They feel the brunt of it. So it's like, hey, if you want to keep your business license, which is why business licensing is some of the most crooked, state orchestrated, validated business licensing really in general is some of the most corrupt thing that really exists, right? I don't think people understand the level of detail and how deep that stuff runs. Instead of pricing people out of the market, instead of making it illegal for people to operate and do businesses and stuff, or do business, like that is a subject for another show, which we'll talk about that. But right now I want to focus on the fact, and I want you to focus on the fact that, and be prepared for that the pressure is going to be placed on them. And effectively, they will then place pressure on you, because it's like, well, you want to go to this store? Do you have a vaccine? Do you have this card? Do you want to go to this? You want to fly? You want to travel? You want to eat here? You want to go to this venue? You want to do this? You want to do that? And they are going to require you, because they are having the pressure placed on them by way of the businesses. And like the other things, when it came to the mask mandates and the lockdowns, the big businesses, the Walmarts, they will be complicit. They will be compliant. But that's where the pressure is more so going to come. I already told you, I talked about this with Glenn Beck on Blaze, on News and Why It Matters. And how, if it ever did become an instance where it was like basically illegal to not be vaccinated, and if that ever became a thing, I already told y'all fools that I was prepared to go to jail, because that's a line that I'm just not going to be crossing. I told y'all I'm not no rushed vaccine. They ain't found cures for common cold, which is a damn coronavirus, but somehow they were able to pump out this a vaccine for this particular virus that they just found out about, and they rushing it out to have this sort of mass production. If you think that I'm taking that stuff, you are out of your damn mind. So if it did come to a point, which I don't see that happening, but if it did come to a point to where they forced it like that, then there's no way that I'm taking that. Okay, and if they take me to jail, then that's just what it's gonna have to be, because I'm not taking it. I'm not taking that vaccine. Period. Now, with that being said, though, I don't think because of that, and there's a lot of people that have that approach, the folks that they are going to focus on really enforcing the enforcement level of this is going to more so come by way of the state to the businesses and to the institutions, to the facilities and what have you, not necessarily the individual. So y'all need to be prepared for that.
Be prepared.
Even before the even mask mandates, some of the lockdowns were even happening. Well, I think the lockdowns had already happened, or the restrictions. Governor Abbott hilariously was talking about that, and we covered that on the News and Why It Matters. Why you should be a subscriber over at Blaze TV if you're not, because we talk about this type of stuff. Where Abbott was like, yeah, you maybe you can't force it directly, but what you can do is basically apply pressure here, and which is, of course, he's alluding to the businesses, and then you can kind of get them to do it, and you can have a mask mandate or a lockdown. That's where the pressure is going to come from, and y'all need to be prepared so you understand how to combat it and you're not caught off guard. That's where the pressure that
I'll post a link, let you watch the rest of it, but be prepared. So 2 critical things that he said right there. Eric July, if y'all don't follow him, you should. He talks a lot of truth. I don't always agree with him, but he's blown up the spot on this one. One is you need to pick a stance. You need to make it known publicly. Why? Because they're always watching. It's not people. It's just learning software, but they want to know if they can get away with it, right? It's working so far, so they're going to do anything they can get away with. That's what corporations do, and that's what oligarchs do. It's what governments do. Corporations that are pretending to be governments, that are all working together. Corporations given the authority and the power to write laws. They only write profitable laws. If they've got you scared and they think they can force vaccinate everybody, they'll do it. Because they're not a person. They don't have any feelings. It's about gaining power and money. So the first thing he said, well, one, you have to make your stance. You have to make it publicly known. Otherwise, you will face that force that'll come. 2, they're going to use corporations to do that, right? Why? Because you need them. You're consumers. They got you eating potato chips for a reason. Why? Because they know you like them. And you don't realize you eat too many of them, you're going to die of the cuckoo virus. And all the other diseases that you get from it, the comorbidities that you need to focus on, right? They know that you don't want to grow your own food. They know that you don't want to get your own water. They know that you want to live in a McMansion and be okay fighting the climate change while you're changing the climate through all the products that you're buying, all that virtue signal and all that bullshit. And that's the next point. So, they most likely not going to force, a vaccine by well, it will be forced. Compulsion is force, but it's not by gun and police officer. That might start a problem. That'll blow up in their face. But they absolutely will use businesses. You know why? Because businesses can't fight a state. You can go in and have all the hissy fits you want in a business that's required to have a business license to operate in that state. And you can blame them all you want. They're not going to fight the state unless they've already made all the money they want to make, because they require a business license to operate, and the state just takes that away. They're utilizing the channels that they can to get what they want. And what they want is what they were told to do. All these politicians were bribed long ago by Big Pharma to get the adult vaccination schedule. So that's coming no matter what you want. And the beginnings of that is scaring people into thinking it's a good idea to act like Nazis. And that's what they did with cuckoo virus, right? So it's definitely coming. It's not a question. The only question might be when. But you need to be prepared, and that's the last part. And this is what we talk about. We've been saying this for damn near 3 years now. Plant seeds, plant seeds, plant seeds. Wait a minute, the cuckoo virus only started this year. What you mean you've been talking about for 3? Go back and watch the videos. We knew something was coming. We didn't know what. I was kind of hoping it was a stage alien invasion or the zombie apocalypse. That didn't come. Ooh, speaking of zombie apocalypse, I know I get off on tangents. There was an ancient text talking about it. Oh my God. I forgot. I know we were talking about cuckoo virus for a minute, but hold on. There was an ancient text that talked about the zombie apocalypse. It was the tale of Gilgamesh. Did y'all know that? I thought it came from the Night of the Living Dead. It didn't. In ancient times, it was Inanna. I forgot which god. The god that wanted to marry Gilgamesh. And Gilgamesh was like, nah, I already got coochie. I don't need to marry you, but plus you can kill everybody you married anyway. I'm paraphrasing, but it was a great story. Oh my God. But that's where the zombie apocalypse came from. She said, so if you won't marry me, because I killed every damn husband I've ever had. She said, I'm going to create a zombie apocalypse. No, she didn't say that, but she said, I'm going to bring the dead back to life, and they will keep eating the living until there's no living left. That's the Night of the Living Dead. It's plagiarized. He stole that. I think it was Queen Inanna. Well, the goddess. She was a goddess. So anyway, I got excited about that. I was like, wow. So it's not fake. Maybe something happened in ancient times. So we still might get the zombie apocalypse. That's one. I was hoping for the alien invasion. And the other thing was, back on point, if you cannot provide for your family without Walmart and the grocery store, you will be getting your vaccine. That's just how that works. If you accept that this is coming, then you know what you must do. If you accept that this is not a conspiracy theory, it's just money and an adult vaccination schedule and lobbying, and government just never figure out how to do it. Now they know how to do it through the corporations that you need because you refuse to live in a tiny house, or you refuse to live off grid, or you refuse to grow your own food. I guarantee you will get you and your children will get the vaccine. Why? Because it'll be your decision. It's compulsion. You can't go in the grocery store to buy food unless you show your little MNR, your little Lucera's Mark of the Beast thing. You can't go in your own. You can't go in the store to eat. How long do you think a parent is going to sit back and listen to their child crying for food before they just go ahead and get their injection? They know what they're doing. These people, when it comes to this stuff, they're genius. That's why I'm saying that I appreciate that video that he just did, is because you need to make a choice. If you accept and you understand that oligarchs will take all the power and money they can get, then you know that this is coming. And if you know it's coming, then you need to start making plans. It might be 10 years out, might be this year, might be in a few months, could be in a few weeks, who knows? But if they're saying that you, as an organic human with an organic immune system who is not trying to cheat nature with synthetic immunity that hasn't worked yet, you're not allowed in their grocery store. You're not allowed to get apples. You're not allowed to feed your children. You're not going to get a stimulus unless you do it. If you know that you don't want to live that life, you have to start moving off grid, which I think is a great thing. Because what's the long-term benefit of a large portion of the population of all the colonized NATO nations that have Rothschild central banks that created economies which are just basically psychopathic, creating Ponzi pyramid schemes that just create different cycles of violence and abuse, turning all the groups against each other? The long-term benefit of you becoming strong again and doing your own thing, a large portion of the population, it will collapse. And when those economies collapse, then you will have a chance to rebuild something that is not psychopathic. And that is the new normal that we need. That's why I think it's the beginning. And I think most people will do it. All right, go to jail. You'll be forced to comply then. Yeah, well, right. So Nora's right about that, right? So yeah, they'll take you to jail, but you're only going to stay there for a minute. Once again, same thing with the parents. So they take you to jail, put you in adult jail, adult concentration camp. They take your children, put them in children concentration camp. How long do you think a mother's going to sit there and let her child stay in child concentration camp before she takes the vaccine? Same thing, same scenario. And say, oh, well, they wouldn't do that. Not in the United States. They love us. First of all, you don't have a government. It's a corporation. They will do anything that makes profit. Second of all, I mention it twice a day, every single day. All you got to do is Google state statutes for quarantine and go down to your state, and you look at the powers that they actually have during an emergency. And that's not even the extent of the powers. That's just the powers we went through. They have the power to grab you and throw you in a facility. They can do it right now. The only reason they're not doing it, they have the laws for it. The only reason they're not doing it is because that'll blow up in their face right now. Because you have too many people who are saying no, and a lot of them are medical professionals. All right, only in the East and the West, alcohol is the devil. Okay, I just wanted to do the last cuckoo virus, Jimmy. And I met a medical professional yesterday who took the first portion of a 2-portion cure. That was a great conversation. That was interesting. All right, it's already coming and will be going without me. Yeah, they're going without me, Angela. As long as I'm here, it's going to be an organic living. I'm an organic human. I have no interest in their synthetic way of trying to cheat nature. They can do anything they want. I'm not going with them. All right. Guys, the virus apparently has a 99.95% survival rate. In fact, 95% effectiveness. Does that mean we have a 194.95 chance of not dying? Yeah, it's crazy where we are right now, bonkers. It's crazy that the information is in the public domain and the public they still don't get it. They still don't get it. And it's just, all you can do is tell them. So all you can do is tell them, people will always try to cheat nature, and nature will always have the last say. But the funny part, though, bonkers, is how the CDC had to respond to if they isolated the virus yet. That's the funny part. If you take calcium, you need to include proper magnesium to prevent your bones from becoming too hard and brittle. Okay, good stuff. Calcium. Yeah, what did the CDC? Well, we won't go back down that. They haven't isolated the virus, so you just gotta ask yourself the question: if somebody gave you a fine Waldo chart and they said, "Okay, you need to find Waldo," and they said, "Well, what does Waldo look like?" And they said, "We're not going to tell you what Waldo looks like, but you need to find Waldo." And you're looking at a picture of like 80,000 different pieces of microbiology and bacteria. And you got to find Waldo because it takes Waldo to actually create an effective means of convincing them that you actually found Waldo. And they won't tell you what Waldo looks like, or they have no idea with themselves what Waldo looks like. That's not a good game that you should play. It's not a game you should play until they actually isolate what they say that you need to be scared of is they can't create a cure to prevent it, nor can they find it, nor can they tell you who has it. Just chew on that for a little bit. There's a reason why those medical professionals ask the CDC those specific questions. What do I think is happening? I think it's fear. I think it's fear. I don't know if I mentioned that the other day when I was talking to somebody else, but the fact that they said 3% of the people had debilitating effects from the Pfizer one, that they couldn't go to work, and the same day the CEO sold 62% of his stock. And I think it was either that day or around that day, the Moderna CEO also sold theirs. They're telling you they have no confidence in their product. So what just happened? Well, and I was lucky enough when I worked in Big Pharma to work on, they took me off of what I was doing to work on technical procedures for this, actually, for the word you can't say. And when government calls for it, they have to do it. Right? People who work on those procedures in Big Pharma, they actually know what they're doing. We knew what we were doing. And we didn't know what we were doing, both at the same time. But we were trying to be very cautious because our families are affected by this. And so we beat up the procedures. We wrote them specifically to make sure they were as safe as possible. The government just told the corporations that they will go make this as fast as possible. Why? Because of public fear. Something happened in China. Government responded to the scared public and convinced them that the thing that their science says will save them will be done in time enough to save them. So they raced and did something in a few months that takes 5 months according to procedure to do, and it's not even safe and effective enough to not have a vaccine injury fund to $2 billion. At 5 years working on it, but they did this in a few months. So what just happened is you're just seeing that they have they don't have confidence in their product at 5 years, let alone this. The government just forced them to do it. So there's a whole lot more going on than what's being said. And you just have to process it from that perspective. All right. If you believe but you have to be ready because this is coming and they're not going to let up on it. If you can't take care of yourself, you will be getting the vaccine. Hunger is a biatch. And I've never felt it, but I have friends who have. And they say that if you're willing to cut the flesh off another human and eat it, you feel that hungry, then you'll definitely go step up and you'll get an injection. All right, if you believe what they are told about mushrooms and cannabis, you're a fool. The DEA is a RICO and the Catholic Church is murdering its squash and FOP. Oh, I don't ever believe the DEA, Jimmy. Is that for somebody else? You were talking to somebody? I don't believe corporations. I don't believe corporations. If you're a for-profit corporation, I need evidence of everything. I need evidence of everything. And I need all your records, and you can't be a closed source department. The DEA is a for-profit corporation. It's a department of a for-profit corporation called the United States Incorporated. And people who don't get that, by now, maybe they just don't get it. And I can't help them. The FBI is a for-profit corporation. The Supreme Court is a for-profit corporation. The Family Court is a for-profit corporation. And the U.S. Incorporated is a for-profit corporation. They only do what brings profit. And that is not telling you the truth about what they put on Schedule 1. Always need magnesium to absorb vitamin D. Absolutely. And D3 only comes from the sun. Paying nurses who give the bank to give you searching. Women to pretend to give you searching. Paying the nurse to pretend to. Is that where they were pretending with the needle, the covered needle? Yeah, well, you know what? But they gave the one. They might have gave that one the real one. And did she reappear yet? The nurse that was on TV, did she reappear yet? That's highly suspicious to me, Jennifer. If they said that on social media, as of yesterday, she still hadn't said anything on social media. She has not appeared. She hadn't done a press conference. She hadn't shown up to work. She ain't done nothing. I don't know, but also don't get played by it. That's what I would use her as controlled opposition if I were at the top. Anyway, or vice versa. All right, let's get down. Let's get down. No bank, no exit, no system for you. That's it, bonkers. And that's it. And that's the best way of putting it. If you don't take it, you can't use their system. So you are either prepare to take it or you prepare not to use their system. Simple as that. But don't wait till the last minute and act like you didn't know, because it's obvious right now. All right, many voodoos aren't safe. That's why you have a sign and a waiver. Yeah, I don't think any voodoos are safe. My point, I'm trying to get across to people. If they don't have a cure for the common cuckoo virus. I love it when y'all use the word cuckoo virus. Anyway, so what makes them think that they have a blank against a mutated strain that's apparently more dangerous? And what makes them think, bonkers, that they can keep up with something that's constantly still mutating? You know, at some point in time, you have to do like the exponential mathematics to ask yourself, is your solution going to work? You get millions of shots every time the thing mutates every single year. And that's, there's just so much to it, bonkers, that I can't even get into it anymore. At this point, I kind of do think there are people who just don't want to get it, and you can't help them. All right, the government is the actual virus, and the people need to give them our medicine. Yeah, they are the virus. It's a for-profit corporation. It's greed. Ships in space, lots of laughter, did a conceptual art. Yeah, it was just, yes, because the whole third eye, that's Genie, that's where that came from. You know, Orion, space, we're spiritual creatures having human experience on a little ignorant place called Earth, third rock from the sun, something like that. And people think that you eating potato chips ain't messing with your third eye in space. You're supposed to be spiritual creatures. Ain't never going to be a spiritual creature if you keep abusing your body to a point where you can't even tap into your pineal gland. Yes, there's something to that. There's a little funk to the magic. There's a little bit of funk to the magic. All right, I'm about to get out of here. Read in the back papers that we didn't talk about that a little too much. I got to stop talking about it now. The allergies are not a cop-out. Okay to give a blank, even though you have allergies. Yeah, and there's a lot of people who are very scared, Jennifer, and they're going to get it just because of that. They're like, oh, I've got conditions and problems, and these are very serious, so I need to go and listen to the television and the 0.01% that gave me the conditions and problems from their products, and I need to go take their next product instead of doing research and actually going to the highwire.com and looking at the science, the unsaid science, the censored science portions to determine if I'm making a wise decision for myself or my children. All right, I haven't seen the nurse yet. You haven't seen her, Heather? Yes, you see her. But if you got to look at the right video. Oh, goodness gracious, y'all can get in trouble with that video now. The one that's y'all playing in the background, let the bodies hit the floor. It's not funny, but it's horrible. All right, anyway, then fight back and die proud. And that's it. Fight back, Jimmy. Fight back. It's time to fight back. Fight back in a peaceful way. Just walk away from the system and say, well, you can't use our system unless you get our vaccine. Then you just respond to that ignorance. Say, okay, we ain't gonna use the damn system then. It's like, yeah, kids up the street, like, well, if you don't bring your toys, you can't play with my G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. And I'm like, well, hey, listen, well, fine. I don't want to play with the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. Then I'm going to go get my own damn one. My daddy wasn't going to buy me one. So I made one. I got some cardboard. Funny thing is, daddy had the money. He wasn't going to buy it. He liked me to create toys. I used to make a bunch of toys out of cardboard boxes. If they bought like a washing machine or something, I made a whole bunch of toys. Anyway, that's the issue. I'm not going to touch that. It's just anytime somebody is stingy with their infrastructure and they want you to do tricks to use their infrastructure, they're trying to make you a hooker. That's what it is. They just want you strutting down the street. And they want you to do tricks to use their equipment. You just have to decide, are you their hooker or not? I can tell you if I'm their hooker or not. I absolutely am not. Under no circumstances will I be taking anything organic in this organic body. Until you convince me that you got a vaccination that's organic, gluten-free, cage-free, and you can give it to me in a natural way, I have zero interest in your experiment. Anyway, this is Gerard. Got to go. Love y'all to death. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Do you wanna, do you wanna, do you wanna, do you wanna break the chains that bind me? 'Cause I wanna break the chains that bind you. Do you wanna set the world free? Have perfect harmony? Isn't it time for that? Do you wanna free, boom, 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 free the people? Do you wanna free, boom, 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 free the people from the bottom to the top? Make modern slavery stop. Do you wanna let go of the prisoners? See everyone happy. We can have this and more if we open up the doors. Well, what do you think about that? Do you wanna free, boom, boom, free the people? Do you wanna free, boom, 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 free the people and Mother Nature too? Close down all the zoos. Do you wanna boom, 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 boom? Do you wanna boom, 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 boom? Do you wanna free, boom, boom, free the people? Do you wanna free, boom, 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 free the people from the bottom to the top? Make modern slavery stop.